Right now. Go grab my drink, bear it back. We should be live. Let me check chat real quick. Hello, Zalade. I mean, if Beck is here, he hasn't said anything yet. He had to pause for a while. I'm not certain if he's officially back. No, we're good. We're live on YouTube right now. Well, just let me know when I'll start it. Oh, I see what you did, Brad. Okay. You deleted the 10,000 different Space Marine 2 trailers. Bog noise, you can't hear anybody but... You sure? Somebody else say something? Oh, that's weird. Okay. Hang on. What's going on here? Device 2. I think I have it set to... Right. Hang on. One sec, guys. What do I have it set? No. I was just confirming audio settings here. All right, Sithan. Arctic Nova 2 wireless.
Like, I'm still enjoying it, but my god, they just can't stop upping the ante on just gross, uncomfortable scenarios. Oh my god.
Okay, I think they can hear you now.
Testing,
Gen
1,
V?
2. I have watched Gen V, although the funny thing is I've kind of forgotten most of what happened in it. Even though it's directly connected now to the boys.
Chad, how they sounding? Okay,
Fixed. Good. Hello, Bog Noise. Hello, Zlade. Hello, Ravixie. Hello, whoever else might be here.
Yo.
Right, y'all ready?
Yo, and there's also a tweet. Maybe retweet
It's
that. Yeah.
Vikes.
Shut up.
I'm pressing play.
Do it. Oh, is this the story trailer for?
Yep.
I don't know. Is this not a? I haven't watched this. Is there no gameplay?
I mean, it's Slitterhead. It's all an engine, but
There's some. I got some horror stuff on here because I'm kind of getting in the Halloweeny mood.
spooky. September 1st approaches, the spooky season begins.
I already
The Halloween creep every year.
watched my. I've already been watching horror movies actually.
Okay, that took a turn. That took a very sudden, sharp turn. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm into the next game from the creator of Silent Hill, but this... Is that Regina?
Wait, Dino Crisis Regina? No.
Yeah, of course.
No.
Well, of course not.
I thought it was Regina from Mean Girls.
Oh, good call. I wish.
She was a jerk.
Perfect fit for this environment, the setting.
Yeah, she'd be great. She'd be great in the world of Slitterhead.
Why did that guy look like gray scale?
That's a good question.
You don't see that? Can you rewind it a little bit, Gustavus? I mean, we can't just...
Did it look like a flashback?
Right there, right here.
Oh!
Look at that.
I'm guessing he's like a spirit or something. He's not really there.
But later in the trailer, we see
the
him again,
graphics
he
are
doesn't
really
look like
bad in
that.
budget.
He's right here, and he didn't look like that.
Yeah, I think the graphics could just be bad in budget.
What the fuck?
That's a weird.
I love how PS2 this game looks.
Yeah.
And like both as a compliment and a diss. Yeah, this is.
A story trailer with zero dialogue, which it's fine. I think artistically, and maybe it's for the best, so we don't like glean every fucking story bit from a trailer, but it kind of makes it hard to parse what's going on.
What the fuck is this Groundhog?
I just think it made it.
Wait, yeah, hang on.
I just think it made the
That was
trailer
the release.
easy to
Is that
make.
the release date? Is that supposed to be 10/29, like October 29th?
Is like 2
October
days.
29th.
Well, it's just interesting that it went from like Halloween at 11:59 p.m. to 2 days before.
They're getting away from Dragon Age.
Yeah,
They're like, our game's not going to do that well if we launch it the same day as Dragon Age.
Yeah,
I can't imagine this game does well regardless, but
we don't exactly need to have another repeat of Concord.
it's exciting. Is this game doesn't have a physical edition, surely, right?
I think it does, dude. Dude,
Does it?
Most things do. Plucky Squire's getting a physical edition, which I thought was interesting.
That's not like Plucky Squire's gonna sell like 8,000 times more than Slitterhead.
That is
That's
true.
probably why.
That is true. Alan Wake 2 is finally getting its physical edition.
What the fuck is this shit?
Multiverse.
Beetlejuice? What the fuck?
Halloweeny. Look, man,
Yeah.
I was in a Halloweeny mood. When's that new Beetlejuice come out? Or
I think
did it
it's
already?
Really soon.
Not yet. Yeah, soon.
Tickets just went on sale. You think it's gonna be bad?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be bad.
Was that Samurai Jack?
Everything's bad.
This Beetlejuice?
Everything is not bad.
All these like desperate attempts to bring back shit that like we used to like when we were kids. It gets a little.
Brad, nostalgia sells.
It does.
I know, but
Especially when you're in
nostalgia's
your
not always good though.
midlife crisis.
Alien
Well, it's not
Romulus
even
was
that.
fucking
The
awesome.
art that's made
they
to
also
milk
are selling
us is not
nostalgia.
always good.
They're selling nostalgia to the people who weren't even alive then, because people think about us when we were in like high school and stuff like that, and we had nostalgia for
long.
the fucking 80s, a
Speaking
time
of
in which
nostalgia
we
for
were
the
like
80s.
fucking maybe even alive. And so it's the same shit. It's just it's like even though people who were not alive to. I was not alive when Beetlejuice was in theaters. What year did Beetlejuice come out? Was I?
I think
I don't know.
1989.
I grew up watching Beetlejuice, but
But that's what I'm
probably
saying,
not
Brett. I grew up
theaters.
watching it. It wasn't a thing that came out when I was conscious. So it came out when I was like 1 or 2 years old.
Came out when
so
you were
yeah,
unconscious.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Like I still have a fondness for it. But that's what I'm saying. You can sell nostalgia to people who aren't even nostalgic for it.
Yeah.
If it's so that's what I'm saying. Like bringing back stuff that's successful it has always been a way that people
Sure. I just think sometimes the
Requels can be
artistic
cool.
merits of these things are a
No,
little
for sure.
iffy.
And
It's like a
90%
little
of the
too much
time, it's a cash
references
grab.
and yeah. I
It's
mean,
always
or
a
just
cash
like
grab, Brad.
it's too many references, and it's like, come
Yeah.
on, man, just
No,
anyways.
I get it.
I
It's
didn't realize
always-
this thing was so long. We can we've
That's what she
seen
said.
some trailers for this,
So
but I do think
obviously have
that this
certain techniques
oh, this is
and
not
processes around the way we make
the
things.
one.
One of the
This would make
core
sense
I
why it's a
thought I
5-minute
was-
trailer.
Yeah.
very well.
Skip till whatever. Just skip this whole fucking thing.
And now
I added the wrong
here's
one.
a reveal
I
of a new
do
game
continue
from
to think that
Artisan
looks
Studios,
like
the
a
creators
pretty
of Little
cool
Nightmares 1 and 2.
Supermassive Until Dawn like. And I was sad to find out that it's not getting a physical edition because I'm not gonna buy it, but I wanted to rent it.
No, they said the same thing
Hopefully
about
it's on some
so
service.
many things lately.
Or hopefully one of
some
us buys it and
service.
puts it in our library.
Yeah, Nick. Wait, no, I don't have access to your library. Fuck you.
Well, we
Yeah,
keep
neither
saying
do
we're
I.
gonna fix that, and we don't fucking do it. Hey, look, it's Little Nightmares 3.
I told you all you gotta do is DM me your password.
That's really all we gotta do.
That's all you gotta do.
Basically.
And do your
And
Steam
then you
guard
well,
when I
he
ask.
yeah, his Steam guard afterwards, but then yes, that's it. And then the trick is you can't change your password afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure you do like me and you use a password manager, and my Steam password is like 35 characters of what the fuck.
I have
so
a
it doesn't
question
matter.
about that. I have a question about that after we finish this trailer. Let's talk about this trailer. Because goddamn, does this look like
It looks
Little
like a
Nightmares
Little
3?
Nightmare.
It looks better than Little Nightmares 3, like
It does.
budget wise.
It does.
I'm sure it got a much bigger budget, time and development probably.
You know what this? You know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of like say for instance when Playdead makes a game and then they go dark for a long time and then another studio comes in like we're gonna make a game kind of like a Playdead game and you're like oh that looks cool and then Playdead comes back and it's like hey here's our next game it's like Inside and you're like oh shit this is the real sauce.
So
this is what I've been
wasn't-
waiting for right here.
So this is being published by THQ Nordic. Didn't Bandai Namco publish Little Nightmares 1
Little
and 2?
Nightmares, yeah. We're getting into the weeds. It looks cool.
I'm just wondering, maybe it's the reason why they're not making Little
Yeah,
Nightmares 3.
it's a publishing thing. It's like a
Yeah, they own
Demon
the
Souls,
IP.
Dark Souls thing. They're just
Yeah.
making some shit under it.
But
It's a Little Nightmares game in all but name. That's all.
But it also seems like they're going for like a lot of like animal imagery and shit, which is cool. So
Yeah, it's
I would
still
hope her name would
super
be
Little
Animal.
Nightmares.
Hold on, weren't we gonna talk about something? after
Oh
we
yeah,
watched the trailer?
real quick. So
Well,
if
we can talk
I
about
share,
passwords and stuff after.
if I share my library with you, Brad,
Yeah.
and my wife is already sharing my library, does that mean? Because we had this instance the other day, like where the two of us could not be playing a game from our
No, you
my
can't.
library
We
at the same
can.
time.
Yeah,
No,
that's
we
yeah.
can't.
Because I started
That's always
playing a
been the case,
game
yeah.
and it started to boot her out of a game.
Yeah, you're right.
Correct.
That's how it works.
So
Yeah,
it's
correct.
so now it's just splitting between 3 people.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's not so much
Except
that. It's
I'm
just,
I'm not gonna boot you off. You can only boot me
Yeah,
off. The thing is,
correct.
I'm only gonna play it like very rarely when you happen to have a
Oh,
game.
I
That-
supersede everybody because it's
Well,
my
yeah,
library.
correct.
Of
But
course.
Brad, you know, there's a trick to that, right?
I can go offline or something, right?
Yeah, if you go offline, then Steam doesn't get updated when Nick starts
Yeah.
playing the game. So you can, but it doesn't count towards like any kind of like Steam related stuff. You know, it doesn't count
I know
your
there's
hours and stuff. That's
there's
why I
tricks and
probably have an extra like 150 hours of Stardew Valley played because I was borrowing that from your library for like over 100 hours of gameplay before I was like, all right, fine, I'll buy this game. And so like it didn't count so much of it because it's not, you can't just go offline on Steam. You have to literally disconnect from the internet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Crispy
Yeah.
joined us, so we probably need to switch to the five window thingy.
Easily done.
You could play this, I guess.
Fucking go!
Oh,
This is the actual whatchamacallit, right? The Dark Pictures anthology, or no, what is it? What is their thing called?
yeah, Dark Pictures.
Dark Pictures.
Oh,
I'm gonna work on the cameras.
it sounded wrong for a second.
No pictures.
When I was watching this, I was like, this did not strike me as a supermassive game, which I guess is a good thing.
In what sense? The setting?
Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess the first clue was like, okay, that's a recognizable face. That's an actor, and they tend to have those in their games. But like, I don't know. To me, I was like, ooh, this looks like they're going, like someone's going for like Dead Space-ish or something. So I was kind of surprised.
Wait,
to see this
you're
was a
talking
Dark
about in terms
Pictures.
of the setting or in
I'm
terms
just
of...
saying, there's nothing about this trailer that made me think this was a Dark Pictures game until it said Dark Pictures on the fucking.
Sure.
Which is good.
Well, I mean,
think that's good.
they always change up their like settings and stuff, though, pretty dramatic.
Well, I know
At least
that.
they
I know.
try.
But like usually I can tell like, oh, this is that one of those kinds of games, and I just didn't get that vibe from that at all. Is this Crimson Desert trailer?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a trailer. There is a lot of this out of Gamescom.
This is an MMO though, right?
No, you know, I wanted to. You're thinking Black Desert. This is their spinoff. I wanted to show this a little bit and skip maybe like halfway into this or so because we don't have time for other shit. Oh, look at that. The thing I noticed about Crimson Desert is like there's all these new videos for this game, like gameplay footage, but they're all boss fights.
Yeah.
It got me thinking of like Wukong and like some of these other games that are coming out of China and Korea. These really nice looking action and Souls games, but like with like an extreme emphasis on boss fights, which is crazy.
Well,
and not exactly.
Wukong has very little Dark Souls DNA in it.
Well, okay,
Which
yeah,
we're going to
at least
talk about. Oh my god.
Not the parts that I want, at least. This does look cool, but like again, this is, I believe it's going to be kind of like a Wukong type game where you're kind of going from boss fight to boss fight for the most part. There's another game. There's several. Actually, there's a few games that are like this right now. I saw some of the boss fights from this game, but I didn't see this one. This one looks pretty crazy.
Dude, that's kind of wild.
And it's like, it's interesting because I feel like they're getting like the flair and the budget and maybe even some of like the combat design stuff of like a Souls game in these games, but they're not quite getting like the extremely like impressive like level design or
that was cool.
Like
what?
Yeah, this does
pretty
rock.
sick. That's pretty sick.
And I'm wondering if it's just like I don't know, you know, it's not. It's a lot.
You want to see outside of boss fights to see what there is. Like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
because if it really is just if all of these games are just fucking, you know, quote unquote boss rushes, they're not for me. Damn it, we'll talk about it when we get to Wukong. But like, it's like they're taking all the things from Dark Souls that I don't like and not bringing over the things that I do like. And
I don't really want to get into the Wukong discussion
cool.
right now.
We will
but
later,
yeah. But I don't entirely. I don't think that's an entirely fair assessment.
Skip like 30% of the way into it. I know we'll talk about it when it comes to a little bit more. So there was a lot of Dragon Age footage and a lot of Avowed footage out of Gamescom. Keep going, maybe halfway. You look swimming.
Ooh, underwater swimming.
Have either any of y'all watched any of this?
I
Haven't had a
chance.
chance.
So, what I came out of this video is really dark, unfortunately, when it's in the dark. Well, I'll kind of like sum up my thoughts because we don't have really time to watch all of these, but I will say that I came away watching the Avowed footage and the Dragon Age footage impressed with both. Like, I really want to play both games now, probably more than I did before. I mean, I was always going to play them because
the pedigree.
This is sort of my vibe genre. But
is this video just choppy for?
I was very skeptical.
Is this video choppy for anybody else? Because for me, it's like super laggy.
Not choppy.
So the essence generator is going to unlock that godless.
Skip a little bit more to
she's
get
like
the
stuttering
combat.
for me.
So the thing that was surprised me about this game is how much the combat looks actually fun. More until you see combat, Chris Davis.
It looks like we all thankfully Kai has an ability that will let us get right past it.
I remember there was a fairly early, well, I guess the first trailer where they showed gameplay, and I was like, and when they showed little bits of the combat, I was like, that actually looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean they've done this before, kind of like a lengthier combat like encounters thing, like early in the year, very early in the year. But this thing they kind of like show this whole quest, and it's cool. Like this is definitely like a throwback to like it's a more classic,
Obsidian.
Western RPG, Obsidian, Bethesda kind of thing. But like the combat looks fun. Like they're like it looks like Elder Scrolls combat, but more fun. And you
That's
know,
nice. That's
I'm
what I've
kinda on
always
board.
wanted from Elder Scrolls combat.
And if I didn't finish Outer Worlds, and I don't really want to get into the Outer Worlds conversation because people keep bringing that up and they're like, "Oh, does Obsidian still got it or whatever?" But like, the setting and the world and the lore is like established and it's good. And I know it's good because I played 2 Pillars games. So like I feel like they're much more comfortable doing this versus trying to their best to make not Fallout, which is what Outer Worlds was, right?
Yeah.
So I'm much more optimistic about this game in general. One thing I noticed watching this gameplay is like there seems to be like a lot of like verticality in up and down, especially when they go into these caves and stuff. And it's like it just seems like good. Like this is the kind of RPG I like to play. So I'm pretty excited about this. There's like puzzles and shit and secrets.
I like
It looks
puzzles
good.
and secrets.
It looks good.
This video is hurting my eyes though.
Well, I don't know why yours is choppy. Ours is smooth. After
Mine's
this,
not
I
that
have
bad.
Dragon Age. Which have any of y'all seen the Dragon Age footage?
I have not.
Oh man, y'all are in for something here. I'd skip to the Dragon Age, or I mean, maybe skip ahead a little bit in this to see some more combat, maybe.
Chris
to
was
get
just
a-
trying to fix our cameras.
Yeah, I'm trying to do
FYI.
3 things at
I
once.
see.
Now we can finally do some damage.
I see it.
Oh my god, the video's like 2 frames per second for me. What the fuck?
That's only you. It's definitely a connection thing. It's smooth for me.
Yeah.
Alright, we're building up some nice stun.
I guess I'm gonna.
He's taking frost damage.
Hold on.
He's frozen now.
Very like combo driven, and I don't know. It's just like kind of chunky and colorful, and I don't know. I mean, was the combat in Outer Worlds better than it was in like Fallout?
That's
And that
better.
finishes him off. Thank you, Kai.
I honestly don't remember much about my time with Outer Worlds.
I remember not really being impressed by the combat, I'll tell you
We're
that.
gonna need to break his defense.
People,
We can do.
I kind of actually started a thread on Era about it, and I was like, "Yo,
And
what
I
was
replied to it.
wrong with Outer Worlds and does Avowal look like it's gonna dodge those problems?"
And was there a consensus?
It got a lot of people talking about Outer Worlds and how they felt about it, and a lot of people were disappointed. But a lot of people agree that they're not exactly worried about Avowed. For one, the reason that I mentioned about it being a Pillars universe game, and two, just a lot like I think the Fallout
Bristling frost
like
again.
attempt at humor, kind of they were trying to do like some satire when it comes to I mean I didn't really play that game, right, but like I'm pretty familiar with it, right? I feel like maybe they didn't quite land the tone of that
The
satire
corporate
with, like,
dystopian
commercialism,
satire
stuff,
really-
corporate dystopia.
Yeah, I
don't know,
bounced
Keith,
off that
maybe
hard.
Through, so we can keep
just
going.
kind of paraphrasing comments, but
Looks like that earthquake.
anyways, we could skip ahead. I'm just saying that I'm a little worried about like launch days, tech issues, maybe some bugs because it is Obsidian, but like I'm much more like confident in my letting my guard down, right? Like being excited about this game because I do think it looks really good.
Souls and statue veils.
This is Garrus voicing this character.
Let's go ask him.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I think it's
Gotta hear
gonna
it
be
again.
good. I really do think this.
I like what's going on with her hair.
She's what's it called? A godlike?
For us, it
What
can
they
be
call it in this
It
world?
almost seems like barnacles and shells.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all like they
recently
they
killed
have
thousands of people.
there's all different kinds of like godlike, but they all
Now,
pretty much
we
have like
these
either some sort of like
We're about to face a maniac
plant-like
who wants it
thing or like
desperate.
animal-like thing kind of growing out of their body, usually
Nature.
in their head in weird places. Yeah, like nature's just kind of sprouting from their skulls and shit.
Nature is
pretty
taking
wild.
them back.
It's been a while since I played Pillars.
Or maybe they're just one with me.
I never finished the second one. I was thinking about kind of hopping back into that if I have time to play a CRPG. But you could skip Chris Davis. We got Dragon Age.
They use essence or the stuff
I think
that's
it's much more immediately.
works in the world. But also,
It's the next video. Yeah,
Hopefully this video does not run like dog shit for me. I don't know what's going on, but that last one
it's
was...
not the video. It's your connection.
Well, I mean, that was the first video that we've watched that's had that issue. I
Try
don't know.
dropping out of the call.
I did.
No.
Okay, I can already tell. it's doing
So this one, the gameplay actually, they spend the first part of this kind of going over like the skill trees and like the itemization and like progression, all that stuff. They really go in detail, and like that stuff looks pretty good. But we're not here to look at that, so skip halfway through it and it'll get to combat. Yeah, there, just there, there's fun. So when we saw this before, it was like rogue stuff, and it was very like flippy and like very active, and it was hard to get a sense. Well, what is this game like? I mean, this is a rogue. Is this like Devil May Cry or whatever because it's just a rogue, or is this what Dragon Age is like now? And let me tell you, this is the warrior, and this is kind of what Dragon Age is like now. It's very, very active and fast.
UI.
Yeah, the UIs. But this is a tutorial that's kind of showing like status combos and like some of the abilities, the way they interact. So it kind of pausing a little bit for the viewer to read the text, but it gets pretty crazy later on. The game looks like it runs well, and it's very fast. It looks fun to play. Usually, when a Western RPG studio who comes from like Infinity Engine isometric clicky games or like real time with pause games, usually their attempts at making an action RPG are a little awkward, right? Like if you look at like Dragon Age Origins and their transition to try to make it like a real time thing, or even like Mass Effect's first attempt at it, right?
Yeah.
Like it was always a little clunky, and I feel like it eventually kind of maybe got there, at least for Mass Effect. Definitely not for Dragon Age, but this, in terms of like gameplay, combat mechanics, I don't know how deep it's going to be. It's certainly not like your traditional party-based RPG anymore, but like it looks good. It looks like what they made, they've sort of figured out. And it is kind of just Mass Effect with like just trigger your two companions' abilities, but the shit you're doing as you control the character looks fucking, I don't know. This warrior has like a kick. We probably skipped it, but like, and he does it a lot, but like you could kick enemies off cliffs and shit with that. I like a good kick.
This is part of the.
So yeah, I mean, you know, obviously I've been very like skeptical and hesitant to way more than with like Avowed, just kind of let my guard down to be excited about this one. And I think it's more I just accepted that Dragon Age is Mass Effect now.
Yeah.
And that, you know, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay.
I might be having internet issues tonight, guys.
No.
I can't even get speedtest.net to load.
Oh.
Have you tried?
Oh yeah, you do sound like you have an internet.
Try it on your phone. See what happens there.
You did drop out of the call?
I did, yeah. And then came back.
Oh my god.
Turn your shit up a little, Crispy. I can hear you.
You're a little
Pretty
quiet,
loud.
Crispy. Yeah.
You sound better. You sound better. Talk.
Oh yeah,
It's better.
That's a lot better.
Am I not good up here? Okay.
Yeah, I might have to go restart my router because I can't even get it to connect on my phone.
All right,
Go
we'll
for it,
survive.
bud.
Go ahead.
I'll be back.
We love you. Brett, you think Dragon Age is going to score better than 7?
I do, yeah. Look, I would not have traded it to you if I thought I was giving you a game that would score better. I did it because I desperately needed money. because I did not have enough dollars to replace games that are not going to ship on my list, provided that they don't ship. And let me tell you, it looks like they're not going to ship. I wasn't as confident when this game first announced, or even when I bid on it or anything. It was sort of bait. After seeing all this stuff, much more confident. Like, this is a game that I think isn't going to please die-hard Dragon Age Origins fans, but I do think it's going to please critics. I don't like how you said that.
No, I don't. I mean, like,
Bucko.
I'm not saying that Dragon Age Origins isn't fun. I'm saying as long as this is fun, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of like obnoxious articles like throwing Origins under the bus because this one's such a different kind of fun, and that's gonna be annoying. But because obviously two types of games can exist.
True.
It looks like they figured out the action part of Dragon Age. I don't want to be like one of those Fallout, No Mutants Allowed people who were so anti-Bethesda Fallout when those games got announced. But yeah, Dragon Age is something different now. And I think once you come to grips with it, looks pretty fucking fun.
Does this use a character creator for the primary character, or is it a set?
Yeah, I mean it's a little Fortnite-y, but that was you. That was on you.
Yeah, it's getting a little laggy for me now.
Oh, it is.
It's getting back there, but yeah, you dropped bitrate on there. But like these parries are so quick. These parries and the kicks, and enemies are actually reacting to this stuff. You know, like BioWare does not usually accomplish that. Granted, I didn't play Anthem. Unfortunately, I still think it's gonna be like a pretty linear, like Mass Effect is, right? You touch down on a planet, you get your little bit of story, and then you're kind of combating your way to the rest of the story, right? I guess we'll keep going with trailer talk until Nick gets his shit settled.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it looks cool. Like I almost always want to. So they haven't shown any mage stuff in Dragon Age, and I almost always play a mage in Dragon Age. But now that the action looks so fun, I might play a fucking warrior. That should look cool.
I want to see what's going
Can you move the mic up to your mouth? Because
Yeah, you're
sound
really
better
quiet
when you're
still.
right up in there.
on. That was like.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Hang on.
Just hold it, man. I see YouTubers all the time for some reason introducing their video essays or talking through their video essays while holding a mic. Who started
They
that?
hold it
trend?
like this.
Yeah, someone
who
started
does
it not
that
that
now?
long
That's
ago.
all right.
How's it going?
It's
Hey,
strange.
that's pretty good, Crispy.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I haven't posted a video in so long.
You sound better. You don't sound blown out or bad when you do that. So I think your gain is way low or something.
Probably.
Okay, what if I just put it right here? How's this?
That works.
Sounds good.
I love this.
There's some cool horror indies coming out. That's why I threw them on here because Halloween, man. I watched Longlegs last night. It was cool.
For the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time?
Weird.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
for the first time. Yeah, it just hit on demand.
Yeah, pretty good.
It's like it's not fair though, right? Because like there's so much more like craft put into like just making that movie that horror movies don't usually get that sort of love and attention. So I feel like
Hello.
it's not even fair.
Hello.
Well, I feel like,
Yo.
yeah, I mean, I agree that I think a lot of like skill went into making it. I also, at the time when I was watching it, felt like, oh wow, there's like I don't know. I was reading a lot into a lot of things, and then I went and was like reading interviews with the director, and it was all like, T-Rex, right?
Oz
is the
Perkins.
band
Oh,
that's,
you're
like,
talking.
all
Okay,
over
okay,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, Oz Perkins.
Or talking about
But,
long
like,
legs.
Yeah, I was like, why T-Rex? And I was like thinking about it a lot, and I was like trying to put them in the context of like the music scene of their era, and then like I went and read an interview with Oz Perkins, and he was like, yeah, I'd never heard of T-Rex. I just like started listening to them when I started writing this movie, and I was like, this is cool. I gotta work this in, and like just put it in the movie, and I was like, I don't know, I felt like an idiot. I was like, oh,
So dumb for
yeah,
thinking
like
into it too
I
much.
thought there was like something going on here, but also that interview did make it pretty clear that like just as a director, he's very like aesthetically focused, you know, very vibes based, like aesthetically focused. It doesn't
Which is
really
perfect for
matter.
horror.
Like right, which is I think why it's such a good movie, because like
Loop this crusade.
he concerns himself more with the feel than the meaning, you know. Like long legs, they talk about like why long legs, and it's like it's just it's a word
Creepy.
that sounds like it's from the 70s but is also kind of creepy, but like
You find out immediately what it means, and it's like, oh, that's creepy.
it is, yeah, it is like they use it in an effective way, but it's like he was talking about just having this character. Like he'd written several other movies that kind of basically had this character in it, and he's like, yeah, I could never make it work. And then this movie came along, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's time. Like, let's put him in there. I don't know, like that movie's so weird. Like just the
We'll continue that talk on the
assumption-
podcast.
Let's fucking
No,
go.
Yeah.
It's just. I will say, I just threw this on there because I think it looks fucking cool. It might be hard to tell through like Discord and our internet issues here, but like this is just a cool looking fucking. I don't know if this is like an auto shooter or just a twin stick shooter like traditional, but like I want to play this shit in October, so I'm gonna get it.
I want to say
Anyways,
it's
you
a
can
twin
It
stick.
when it zooms in, it has a really cool aesthetic. This is actually a surprise, but like if you don't really, I guess, pay attention to like Falcom games, maybe it just looks like all of them. But it's actually a remake of the first Trails in the Sky, the first Trails game, which is like really cool because you know the first one came out in like early mid 2000s. Early 2000s, and like it looks like ass. And the thing about this series is everyone's like, oh, you just got to start from the beginning. But like if they're remaking these starting from the beginning, that's kind of exciting because this is a much more like modern approach, obviously, to a Trails of game than going back to that original game. So I just thought that was kind of cool. It was a big surprise too. This was in the Japanese Nintendo Direct, but in the North American one today, it was like just in a sizzle reel, and no one knew about it. And everyone was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why would they put this in a sizzle reel?"
All right, are we ready to do a podcast? We're like 15 minutes late.
Yeah, I mean, we're here. We're here.
I can, but
They're happy. Maybe just this one. This is probably the biggest news.
yeah,
from
this
the
one's a little
thing.
hype. This is a little hype.
It's crazy because they just did the Marvel collection, the Versus collection, and now that they're already announcing this one with, I don't know if you noticed, not just like beloved fighting games like Alpha 3 and Capcom vs SNK 2, but they put both Power Stone games in here and
Yeah,
Project Justice.
and they are all online multiplayer. Like
Yeah, dude, Power Stone is so cool. Project Justice. This is the rival school sequel on Dreamcast.
Alpha 3 Upper, which was the last arcade release of Alpha.
It's probably not gonna have World Tour, huh?
Plasma Sword.
Star Gladiator. Dude, this is like that dude is in like, you know, he's like in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And like
Yeah,
when Marvel vs.
Hayato.
Capcom 2 came out, people were like, who the fuck is this character? He's so cool.
Yeah.
He's from that
so
game.
Yeah, I loved Hayato when I was playing in DC2. Ryu, Hayato, and Joe was my combo.
Power Stone's so cool. Oh man, they're just on it. The only other one I'd maybe like to show, just because maybe y'all didn't see, there's that Castlevania DS collection.
Oh, I did. That was probably the hypest thing for me at the.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
it came out
Direct.
today. It came out today.
yeah.
It also includes a remake of Haunted Castle, which is. Do we have time to watch it? It's this one. All right, I'll just continue then. There's a remake of Haunted Castle, which is a notoriously terrible classic Castlevania game that came out in like arcades or whatever. It's awful game. But they're doing like a rebirth version of it, which is like a remake, and they're gonna make it good again. They did this back in the day with Castlevania Rebirth, which was a remake of the first Game Boy Castlevania game, which again was also notoriously terrible, and they made that awesome. The fact that they're doing that again with another terrible Castlevania is actually super cool. That, and there's 3 amazing DS Castlevania games. I mean, they're just fucking awesome games.
Cool.
So, but the one to start with in this collection is Dawn, right?
Well, Dawn's the oldest, I guess. But yeah, I mean, they're all good. Dawn of Sorrow is.
I think Dawn of Sorrow is the only one I actually played, but I always wanted to play Portrait of
the
Ruin.
sequel to
And
Aria of
Order
Sorrow,
Day.
so it has the Soul system, which is probably like the best like progression system of Igavania.
That game was
So-
sick.
But they're all good. They're all like pretty unique in their own ways too. Like they're all kind of going for like this different sort of concept.
I'm being
thing.
too hopeful in the fact that they're probably showing Switch footage that the PC and other ports would look a little better, right?
These are DS games, dog.
Yeah,
mean?
but like you know that they might have like upgraded assets in some way.
Yeah, you're probably no, not upgraded assets. Maybe like some like restoration, not even AI, probably like some remastering.
Smoothing.
Yeah, like emulator tweaks or whatever. But like to expect much more than that's a little crazy. This is I don't know if it's into. I think it is because of the remake of Haunted Castle, but like.
We have this conversation on the show.
These guys are known for like putting good collections together, not redoing assets and stuff for these games. So, I mean, with the exception of Haunted Castle. But yeah, no, we can go. I just wanted to show it off a little bit. I bought it immediately. I'm just excited.
All right.
I've done my sound test, so I'm
this was
ready
it.
to
This
go.
was the last of
not
Castlevania
done-
outside of Harmony of Despair, which was awesome. Then it became a Mercury Steam thing, and then they killed it. They made it dead.
Sorry, one sec. I didn't realize we were gonna have 5 people tonight. So
Original
Oh.
DS.
Well, I can
Original
go.
DS. That's how long ago it was.
I don't even have footage, so I can go.
I have footage though.
No problem.
Oh, but you
There.
also played Abiotic Factor, right?
okay.
Yeah. I've been calling it.
Well, I got
Abiotic
footage of
Factor.
Breach Wizards.
Nick, could you either tilt up your webcam just a tad, or maybe zoom out a little? There
How's
we go.
that?
That's a little better. Just you have a very big head in all the cameras compared to us.
Shit.
I can zoom
I'm
out if
gonna-
that's a problem.
I'm gonna
Your head's too big
step
for
in
your
real quick
body,
to
and
do a
you'll never
sound
be able
test.
to do anything about it.
I'm gonna try doing this first segment standing, but
Oh, that's why you look so.
That's it.
We're gonna-
Okay.
we're gonna see
different.
what happens. I don't have like a pad for the floor yet, so I'm literally just standing on the.
Pad for the floor. Your little soft feet sound like you've never worked a day of retail in your life. How dare you, Nick?
Well, first of all, you know that's not true. Second of all,
Yeah, I know.
fuck off.
Well, you must have been sitting on a stool or something.
You have like get a pair of house shoes.
You know, it's not unusual for people to have standing desks with like a pad under their feet, right? I have them
Yeah,
at
like
work,
Bank tellers.
so I'm barefoot standing on a hard floor. Like, come on, give me a break.
Hmm.
It's just the heels of my feet might get uncomfortable, but we'll see. I feel fine right now.
Okay.
surprised you don't have a rug or something.
He's on carpet.
It's on carpet.
Check 1, 2. Something is weird about my mic.
I am recording.
Is it picking up the correct mic?
I'm recording.
It is.
Yeah, he sounds like he's from that mic. It just sounds low.
Yeah, I had to max him out.
Yeah, I had to turn him up a little bit on mine.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah,
hello.
Zelgun, I have one too. It's right
Oh,
here.
that's- Oh, wait.
Is it green, Nolan? Is it green?
It's actually not. It's
Is it green enough?
tan. There you
Oh.
go. It's
There,
just
yeah.
tan. But yeah, it's just a 1 inch like stand. So whenever I stand, I just pull it out. It's right here on the side.
I will be getting one
Hang on.
next month.
Next month. Is that like a see you next year joke?
No, that is I spent a fuck ton of money upgrading my desk and my PC in the same month, and now I'm not buying anything else. So
how's all your new stuffs?
it's great. Thanks. Chris Davis came over and helped me get my PC parts in and everything.
Oh, you should let me know. I would have come over.
I would have if you didn't live across the country now, bro.
Yeah.
But I love my desk. I also had to get a new arm for my microphone, which is actually a hell of a lot better than the one I had before.
Yeah,
because it
I've been
snapped.
debating on getting a new one. Mine's kind of it never like stays in the place I put it. It always like dips down a bit. It's really hard to get it in a good position.
Yeah.
It's also very squeaky.
Does this sound better?
It does.
That sounds great, Crispy.
Check 1, 2. Check, check, check. Check, check,
Beautiful.
check, 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 check.
Sit back a little, or you feel like you're gonna be where you're gonna be when you podcast, and let us hear.
Okay. If I'm sitting here and I'm talking, how do I sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's good.
Fantastic.
I'm
From
restarting
the
my
depths of the
recording.
darkness comes Crispy.
I didn't start mine, but yeah. So my throat's been kind of like scratchy. I don't know why.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully.
We all been getting a lot of rain up there, right?
Yeah, we definitely have been getting some rain. Sure.
Just saying, mold.
How's the weather been in Nevada, Chris Davis? You know, you fucking know, and you're debating whether you should tell me or not.
No, it's the fucking desert. Like, what am I? Like 99% chance of it just being just fucking sun.
True. Also, you know exactly.
No, I do not. All I know is
he
that a
in-
tropical storm ran up the East
Is
Coast
he in
like
Nevada?
several weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Is
Several
Chris
weeks.
Davis on a green screen right now?
No.
Is he in Nevada? I don't understand what
Oh,
Brad is implying.
No, because Chris Davis
He knows
was
the weather of all over
he knows
the world.
the
all
he
time.
knows the weather in
Oh.
Delaware, so we assumed he also knew the weather in Nevada.
That he's like a weird weather savant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is probably the truth.
His computer desktop is actually the weather in every
It's
the general.
the NOAA fucking
He
website.
collects like antique barometers and shit.
I scab over at Keg Sand. Yeah.
That's so benign, but sounds so mean. Like collects antique barometers. Cutting.
Probably.
What an awful thing to say about somebody.
What are you talking about, dude? The
Crispy's like, that's a sick burn.
It's sick. I hated
Chris
that you
Davis's
did that to my
old
friends.
soulness is one of his most like charming
Qualities, yeah.
So don't.
The whole Werther's original of it all.
Think of it.
I wish I had
supple.
the soul of an 85-year-old man inside my body like him.
Okay.
soul.
There's a joke to be made there. I'm not gonna go there. Are y'all ready to start?
Please.
Yep.
65 at most.
Yeah, I think I'm
60,
already
65, man.
recording. Yep, already recording.
All right. Then let's
The
do.
penis of an 85-year-old.
That was the joke I wasn't gonna make. All right. Let's do a roll call. Brad,
Yes.
Nolan,
This is Nolan, and I am doing my roll call for the podcast.
Crispy.
This is Nolan, and my name is Nolan, and I'm doing the roll call.
What
Wow.
just happened? Oh, Nolan just left. We scared Nolan away. Chris Davis.
Hi, this is Chris. I am also here.
All right, perfect. Let's
Where's
get the
your
show on the
roll
road.
call, Nick?
Testing 1 2 testing. All
There
right,
we go.
Thank you, Chris Davis. Hey everyone, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 807. It is August 27th, 2024. I'm your host, Nick Henderson, joined tonight by Brad Simons,
Hello.
Nolan Hedstrom,
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Christopher Guthridge,
Hello.
and Christopher Davis.
Good evening.
And we are here once again to talk about the wacky world of video games. How about that Nintendo Direct today, guys?
How's it?
They got
That's
us
a decent show.
Yeah, when they announced Silksong was coming out this year.
Okay, I
obviously,
honestly
elephant
can't
in the
really-
room, sure, but it was a good showcase thing.
really?
Indie/partner direct.
I'm kind of surprised because I was not feeling it.
It wasn't filled with a lot of Nick games. I
Nah,
guess.
it certainly was not. It was.
But
I mean, I
people
was there for
who are
two
not
reasons.
you-
I know. I'm not saying. Look. I'm not saying it was a bad showcase just in general. I'm saying it was a bad showcase for me. I was there for two very specific reasons, and it did not deliver on either one of them. I was hoping to get some news about Deca Police, or of course Silksong. But of course, neither of those things.
That was good. That was good
transpired.
news for you, Nick. Bad news for me.
Well, I mean, if you were talking about Fantasy Critic, yes. Any delay on Hollow Knight or any lack of news on Hollow Knight is good news for the rest of us. It's not looking good. I don't know how to tell you this. It's not looking good.
No, I'm not worried. Xbox gonna have a showcase in like a week or two.
Did you make that up? Because I haven't heard
There's
anything
rumors.
about this.
No, there's fucking rumors, man.
Okay.
Xbox partner
Fucking
showcase.
rumors.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
it's gonna
I
be
mean,
good.
They're out here saying.
Morsels does
Yeah,
look
you're
cool.
saying-
Check out a trailer for Morsels. We
there
didn't
were
get a
some
chance to get to it.
some neat indies. I also saw some Sea
Pizza
of
Towers
Stars
coming to
DLC.
Switch. Pizza
Yeah.
Towers, super cool game. Like,
They opened it with a Tetris Forever collection, and all the background behind the
That's a
scenes
good-
stuff
yeah.
is filmed by Area 5, the former .com
well,
guys.
it's the studio that's been doing all these collections and digital
Oh,
Eclipse. It's
yeah.
Digital Eclipse.
No, Digital
Like, they
Eclipse
do-
isn't doing this. This is Area 5. Digital Eclipse is actually doing the Worms Armageddon remaster thing.
What?
Yeah.
Area
Right,
5
It's all
makes
about nostalgia.
video stuff.
I think nostalgia was kind of the theme
think-
of this, right? Yeah. But there was
yeah.
some cool indies there. Neva got a date, which is October 18th, I believe.
It's interesting. That's actually kind of interesting. What is the Tetris game called?
Tetris Forever.
So you know how like
Mr. Papa Shot says Digital Eclipse is doing Tetris as well.
yeah.
Oh, they
No,
are?
I think he's mistaken. But here's what's interesting about it, right? Digital Eclipse did their own like docu games that like in the recent years they did the one on like Karateka and the one on like George or Jeff Minter games and stuff. But like those were like really impressive games,
Okay.
but they got bought. And the dude who what's his face from Giant Bomb, went over to Digital Eclipse, and he's like a video guy, and he recently left. And I'm thinking that they got rid of their own in-house like documentary people, and that might be why they contracted with Area 5 to shoot all that stuff.
What's the name of the
What's
studio
his
that does
face?
all like the long form documentaries?
Blinking
like...
White guy
Oh,
from Giant
Oh,
Bomb.
No Clip?
I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
thinking
I
of
think I'm No Clip.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
he was
Drew.
the dude who
Drew
like
Scanlon.
filmed all that stuff. Drew Scanlon. He
Yeah.
filmed all that stuff for Digital Eclipse, but he recently left, which is unfortunate
I
that
didn't
they
know
got
that.
bought and all of a sudden they're getting rid of their in-house like docu people. Unfortunate, but yeah,
yeah.
that Tetris game
Um,
does look fucking cool.
It does look cool. A lot of cool collections. We got some news on
Yeah.
the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD
Well,
remasters,
geez.
right?
And that's still not this year, which is
No.
crazy because that's just
Oh.
a remaster. And like I don't know what's been going on with that. I'm glad it finally has a date. It's not like an insane amount of work is being put into it from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Very weird situation, especially because Konami, same time, Shadow drops another new Castlevania collection, which looks great, has the DS games, has a remake of Haunted Castle, and Capcom has another insane collection after just announcing the Marvel Versus collection. So the fact that like Suikoden's taking so long is super weird. But
That's a good question.
I mean, they may have just announced that project early.
So
yeah, but they're not
that
like real early.
Castlevania
There's not new
collection-
artists. Well, there is.
I have a genuine question. That Castlevania collection, sick as hell. But like, how does it handle like the dual screen shit?
It just they put it to the side.
Well, they put it to the side. The Switch is a touchscreen. Also, there are some like controls for that stuff. Like for example, in Dawn of Sorrow,
with a stylus though.
Dawn of Sorrow has the is like kind of notorious, right? Where once you beat a boss, you had to like draw the seal to actually defeat the boss. Otherwise, you would get some health back. They turn that into like quick time events now.
Oh,
so you just press the corresponding like face button to do like the rune thing to seal the boss, and that's like a completely adequate way to do it. The thing is, there's been so many like ROM hacks and stuff to remove that stuff over the years. Like I have my fucking Miu mini. I have like multiple hacked versions of all these DS Castlevania games with all kinds of like hacks for stuff like that. But it's nice to get a nice official collection for the Switch because it's like those are good fucking games, man. And those are like the last real Castlevania games pre Mercury Steam. So it's a good pickup. And that thing's only $24 for three amazing Castlevania games and that new remake of a classic one. So pretty cool.
Back in the good times before the Mercury.
The Capcom one is wild though. The Capcom one is wild. We're just talking about.
Yeah, I was just talking about the Nintendo Direct, man.
Can I mention?
It's out there. It's news. It happened today.
First off,
well, on the Capcom one, or were you going to talk about the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 or whatever? It has both. It has Capcom vs SNK 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3. It has both Power Stone games and
sick. That's sick as hell.
Project Justice, the second Rival Schools game. Like it's so cool because these are like games that like if you trying to like collect like physical copies of, or like some of these games are like super rare, you know, and just to have these nice collections for the Switch is just fucking huge. Not just the Switch, but and to have, you know, online support, even though people,
I don't play a lot of fighting games, but believe it or not, Power Stone 2 is maybe the fighting game, maybe excluding one of the Mortal Kombat games. I don't know, but like outside of that, Power Stone 2 is probably the fighting game that I've spent the most amount of time with.
You saying you could kick our asses in Power Stone because it's going to have online?
That sounds like a challenge.
Absolutely not saying that at all. I'm just saying I don't have a lot of experience with fighting games, but believe it or not, I got some Power Stone experience there.
And just like the fighting collection that's just about to come out for the Marvel games, this also includes enhancements like full-on rollback netcode so you can play online, full-on training modes. And they unlock like hidden content, like a bunch of boss characters or otherwise unplayable characters. You can now do that.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else you want to call attention to? What's up?
I mean, I also, you want to talk about other stuff that was talked about? Like they showed off the first trailer for the DLC for Sea of Stars.
So yeah. I was kind of distracted when that happened, but I would turn back and when I finally looked back, I was like, wait, Sea of Stars? What's happening? What did I miss? And then it ended. But then I realized it was free DLC, right? Free DLC?
Yep.
Which is cool.
Coming out next week.
I don't know. I don't know why it's free, but I'm glad it's free because it's free.
It's just weird because that game came out to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus Extra. So you would think, or maybe it wasn't Game Pass, but you would think that they would want people who got it for free to at least pay money for the DLC if they liked it.
Good point.
So.
I'm wondering how that game ultimately ended up doing.
Oh, extremely well.
Extremely well? Okay.
Yeah. Outside of this, like on Steam and stuff, it did, super well.
Great. It's great. It's a great fucking video game. Look,
also
I was not trying to disparage the Nintendo Direct. It was just a lot of obscure JRPGs that I know are not for me.
Yeah. There was also a bunch of surprising Shadow Drop content today.
You need points, dog. I don't, we're in September now.
I know I need points, but I'm not going to get points with those. That's for sure.
True. True.
I almost installed Grand Blue Fantasy Relink on my Steam Deck before I
man.
took my trip, but I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that one can get you over the finish line.
I'm waiting for
I hear it's not super long.
I'm waiting to see what level 5 says, because if level 5 comes out and says Deca Police is coming, I think Deca Police will take me across the finish line.
What if you hate it though, Nick? What if it sucks?
I have never played a level 5 game that I hated.
Yet.
But when's the last time you
Ni no
played a level
Kuni. I saw
5 game?
Look
Because they're
Nolan.
not the same company.
Hold on. No, I'm not talking about the first Ni no Kuni.
Well, Ni no Kuni 2, I didn't hate. I didn't finish it, but I didn't hate it.
It's a fine game. It's just kind of boring.
But like when
It's
I
not a great game by
when
any
I
means.
played Ni no
It's
Kuni
not
2,
great.
I didn't need the points. I didn't need the points for the stupid
Yeah.
game that Brad has me playing.
You're too Pokemon pilled. I feel like you're biased. You hate Ni no Kuni because it's not Pokemon.
You
Right?
heard of
Isn't
me?
that like Pokemon like? Yeah.
I think that
No.
I think that
So, I
that
mean,
puts him.
the second one added some Pokemon kind of elements, but that's not why I didn't like the game. I didn't like the game because it was boring as shit.
No voice acting.
Yeah, no voice acting, lots of reading, bad story. Like the first game was so much better.
First game was really good, but even then,
Yeah, but
then,
he's
I
not
feel
even
like it
talking
would
about
be.
that. He's talking about like
do-
fucking Dark Cloud and shit.
I do feel like it would be
Yeah.
a stretch to say I hated Ni no Kuni 2. You know what I mean? Like hate is a strong word. If I needed the points and Ni no Kuni 2 would get them for me, I would happily play it.
So you had no feelings about it.
Ni no Kuni 2?
Very mild feelings.
Very sure, mild feelings about Ni no Kuni 2. But level 5 has a terrific track record. Love
Yeah,
me
like
some level
decades
5.
It's
Sure.
been a long time.
I'm not worried about it, man.
They were
Deca
killing
Police,
it on the PS2 and the Nintendo DS and shit, but
Deca Police looks sick. It's a fucking like futuristic detective game by level 5, man. It looks sick. I'm into it. Don't pee in my Cheerios or whatever they say.
no, I mean,
Whatever
I
they
hope
say.
it's fucking good. I'm just saying you're the one who's needs it to be good. Otherwise, what the fuck? You're gonna have to
Otherwise,
play
what?
Rise of the Ronin again, which no one wants to play that horrible game.
First of all, I never said it was horrible. You bitch.
You were pretty mad. Remember when you were dodging the stuff you were supposed to parry? You were so mad that day.
I was pretty mad. I was pretty mad about that. You know, I have problems with Rise of the Ronin, but those are me problems. All right, I don't blame anybody for liking that game. It's just not for me. Anyways, what are we doing here?
Well,
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, I did want to mention
That
a
is
few
not
more
what I meant.
things from the Nintendo
Okay.
Direct.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of, they closed the show, obviously, not with Silk Song, but with
I
Yakuza
turned it off
Kiwami?
the moment I saw that on screen. I was like,
Yeah, what is that?
Come
That's
on.
not news. Who cares?
I mean,
I was
but
like,
they
ending
have
this thing with a
talked.
port.
Well, they have talked for years about how they would not bring their games to the Switch, and now they are, and it looks like it runs at 540p. But hey, that's the thing.
Who cares?
There was also beyond just the Castlevania DS collection, there was a number of other things that got Shadow Drop content today. Balatro got 40 packs of cards for Dave the Diver, Witcher 3, Among Us, and Vampire Survivors.
Damn.
pretty cool.
This man, this single developer who made this
Yeah, right.
fucking
It's just a
game,
single guy.
man, he took his success and was like, I'm gonna go all the way. I mean, he made
Yep.
these deals quick.
And
That
and he
game
was
came out this year.
teasing
He's
more
already got
deals
Witcher.
in that trailer.
He's a
I
businessman.
wouldn't be
man.
surprised
I'm
if there
all for
was so many more that he got like either offered and just couldn't make work too.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like other people want to jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know,
I love it,
other
though.
developers want to
Absolutely.
if they can get in on a little bit of recognition coming their way.
Yeah.
I'm excited. In fact, one of the things that I kind of wanted for Balatro was to have a little more, well, whatever. We don't have to talk about Balatro. We'll talk about the end of the year when we're talking about the best game of the year because it's obviously Balatro. Maybe.
Well,
Pretty
Maybe.
high up there.
also, I
at
did
me,
I did
Nick,
want
you
to
Coming from
motherfucker.
somebody, you can't go if you didn't play it, Nick. You can't go.
That's the joke. That's the
didn't play
joke.
it.
That's the joke.
Oh my god.
I also just wanted to throw in that Peglin got Shadow launched today out of early access.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Big one. I didn't realize I was still
pretty
on
good.
early
Yeah,
access.
yeah. Neither did I.
Yeah, but it's a timed exclusive on the Switch for consoles, but it's out on Steam and GOG right now.
It's also on a Netflix free download game if you have
Oh, it
Netflix
is?
on your phone.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, when Nintendo was yesterday was like, we have Nintendo Direct tomorrow, and it's 40 minutes. I think people see Nintendo Direct and they see 40 minutes and they're like, and then it says something about partner, like I forgot what their terminology they use is.
Partner
But they talk
direct.
about showing up but like yeah, their partner direct or whatever. And people immediately start thinking, oh, this is a big one. 40 minutes long, Nintendo Direct,
Big
partners is a big one.
They combined them together. Partner directs are
Yeah, in my head, I was thinking they're doing an indie thing, and I thought it was like a separate stream, and it was 40 minutes for both. I was assuming the indie world was separate from the 40 minutes.
I mean, if they would have separated it out, the Indie World event would have gotten not even half the viewership that the main Partner Direct would have.
No, I know. I mean, it was a smart move. It's just, I think a lot of people, because, it's getting towards the end of the year. Everybody's like, jonesing for Hollow Knight Silk Song, and everyone
It's
assumed.
crazy.
And who knows? Like, the funny thing is, like, who the fuck even knows where that's going to show up? Like, when it finally does reemerge, it could be at any number
A lot of
things.
people really do believe it might be Xbox because they did have like some sort of partner
I mean, the
deal.
last time we saw it, it was at an Xbox thing.
It's going
So.
to be on Game Pass, and like for such a big, instant success game, huge game, right? To get
I
that
feel
Game
like it
Pass
was-
deal means they probably have some huge marketing thing. Not that that
Yeah.
game needs to be marketed at this point. The memes do the work.
Yeah, they do.
I don't
But
know.
anyways, that happened. There's still time. There's still time. But we'll see what happens. How's everybody doing? Anything
good.
exciting? Yeah. Anything? No. Anybody seen any good movies lately? Before we jump into like the video games.
I watched The Sound of Music last night.
That's a good one. Classic.
See it, man? Yeah. The Von Traps.
Mm-hmm.
And then Clue. I watched Clue. That movie's great. I haven't
Oh.
seen it in a while.
That is a great movie. For
That's
Last
a
time I saw
good
Clue was at the Draft House.
movie.
It was a Clue party.
Movie
or-
party.
Movie party, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, and I started watching the second season of The Mole on Netflix, and that show is weird.
You're talking about like from back in the early 2000s?
No, well, it is that show, yes, but Netflix now makes new seasons of it.
Oh God.
Wait, but you said the second season of The Mole.
The second season of the new.
The second new season of The Mole.
I thought you went back to watch the old Mole because I did that like a couple years ago, and let me tell you, it was a pretty good time.
Dude, the second season of the original Mole was so good. Like that's when but no. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it, I think.
Did we have any conversation? Did anybody else besides me see Alien yet?
No.
Romulus?
Oh no, that's all you, buddy.
Oh man,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
all you.
That's wild.
I don't see
You
a lot
should
of
see
theater
it.
movies. Was it good?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Let me tell you,
well,
I'm not
finish
running
this-
out to watch Pretty Good in the theater.
I saw Cuckoo.
Oh, how was
see, I'm waiting-
that?
I'm
How
waiting
was
on
that?
Brian to come to
Dude, Cuckoo was wild. I think Cuckoo might be in the running for one of my favorite movies of the year. It's
There's
Trippy.
that director made another horror movie called Luz, Luz.
I have not seen
that is
that.
also like
Yeah.
a wild one, and Carlos like adores that movie. So maybe check
Really?
that one out too. Yeah.
It is as you said earlier, Brad. It is almost September 1st. Spooky season for a lot of people has already begun.
I'm
So,
excited to see that one when it comes on demand, and Oddity. I've been waiting for Oddity to hit streaming.
Oddity.
Oddity is Luz is German. Yeah, it is a foreign film. Oddity is the new God, what did they make? There's a movie called Caveat horror movie.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. Just watch the trailer. Oddity, it's wild.
All right, good to
Pretty
know.
stoked. If you
Good to
want to
know.
keep that weird, I think it's in like maybe some small theaters right now. But if you want to keep that weird horror train rolling, maybe look into Oddity.
Look, just real
Strange
quick
Darkness.
thing about Alien because I didn't realize I was the only person that had seen it here. Aliens Romulus is pretty damn good. It's like it's easily the best one since like the original Aliens.
Really?
The original and Aliens. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I don't think you're gonna get much pushback. I mean, I know I've always had a soft spot for Alien 3, but I know that's a weird take. I know that's a really weird take.
Yeah.
It
But
is.
I
No,
also
no.
recognize, even though I love Alien 3, like Alien and Aliens are obviously superior. Like I feel like objectively they're superior films. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to argue that. And I think the thing is, this like from from the creative standpoint, from like the director and the writer who was like putting the whole thing together, he clearly had a vision for it, went for it. But like you can see where like at the executive level, like trying to get their fucking fingers in that and like forcing the creative decisions to be made that are just terrible. But there's not much of that. Oh my god! Hold on a second.
What are we
The
holding?
cat's trying to get in, but it
oh,
actually does not want in.
yeah.
I'm surprised you.
I
actually heard
gotcha.
That entire time I was talking, this cat was like scratching the door like viciously, and the moment I
heard
open
it.
it, she just runs away.
She's like,
Yeah.
no.
What a bitch!
Just doesn't like closed doors.
It doesn't
And that'll
like those
probably-
Rule policy.
That'll probably
You know, I haven't been really hot on the Alien franchise, and I also wasn't a big fan of Prometheus, but recently I've been thinking about reevaluating it because I'm starting to think about it and read about it, and like Ridley Scott's been on this like whole no one's special, God is dead, and if he's not dead, then he fucking hates us kind of kick in a lot of his movies over the last 10 years. And honestly, like, it's kind of a vibe. Like, I'm
here
kinda
for
here
it.
for it.
yeah.
He's also turned into a bit of
Yes.
an asshole, though.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
turn
I mean,
into
I
it,
don't
or
care if
has
he's
he
an
always been
asshole.
an asshole?
Yeah. He made
So-
Blade Runner. He can be an asshole. Like, that's fine.
Did y'all see the? I think it was Letterboxd that were like, I guess they have a thing where when they're on like red carpets or whatever, they'll ask like directors like, what are your top 4 favorite films or whatever, and then they like add it to, like, a thing. And
One
they
of
asked
his-
Ridley Scott, and he put Blade Runner.
One of
in his
his
list.
was
He's like,
Blade
"Fuck it,
Runner, and it's
Runner."
like, fuck
Dude.
yeah. Fuck
Own
yeah.
that shit.
He's
I
like,
was
there
like-
just aren't that many people out there doing it like me. Like,
Actually,
I was
you know
like,
what?
that was a bold answer.
I apologize. When I said asshole, I was actually thinking of James Cameron.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
he's an asshole too. They're all assholes.
I was
these
gonna say
days.
they're all assholes.
yeah, they're not your
I think
friend.
the list
Also-
of them that aren't is a lot shorter than that.
you know,
are.
Fede Alvarez, the guy who directed Romulus. I mean, obviously, I don't know the guy, but like, he gives off vibe. Like, if you go listen to him talk about stuff, he gives off like, I'd like to have a beer with that guy. Like, he seems like genuinely interested
for him
in
for
the creative
president.
process. No, wouldn't go that far. But you know, when you listen to him talk and then you listen to like Ridley Scott talk, because a lot of that's happening in the same like right now, happening in like the same video because they're doing a lot of stuff together. It's just like you can kind of see the difference in their personalities. I don't know, but yeah, I highly recommend Alien Romulus. It was good. Also, I will say that I'm still of the opinion that Alien Isolation is maybe the best like genuine sequel to the original Alien, but that's also a weird take, I'm sure.
Not necessarily.
That's more weird.
But no, so yeah, I was saying earlier. Yeah, I've not really seen too many movies. I've only watched a few shows. Been very busy around our house now that we've been here for a year. I'm finally starting to get some stuff done that I've been needing to get done for like the past 9 months. It just, life gets busy, and then all of a sudden, there's a lot of things I need to get done before December. Doing lots of painting and prep work and getting ready for the baby shower. That's in a month.
Have you?
Because Bernadette's pregnant.
Okay, I was about to say. I was like, I
Oh,
don't
I
think
was
you
like,
said
wait,
so.
did you tell these people?
No, it's never
Again?
been told on the podcast. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the first time all the guys know, everyone here knows, but no
Way
one
to
in
sneak
chat
that in
knows
there, Nolan. That was smooth.
that yes, Bernadette is due in December with our first baby.
Very exciting.
Crazy.
Yes.
It'd have been funnier if you waited
crazy.
until just like a baby wandered into frame.
Yeah, just show it. Yeah.
See how long you can keep that under wraps. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the only reason I don't think it would have kept under wraps that long. Somebody would have slipped up on accident at some point,
Dude,
especially
I was
as we
getting
get
nervous.
closer.
I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
surprised
mean,
it hadn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's so easy to slip up. In
I
this,
mean,
that
she's
sort of situation.
quick math, over 5 months in now. Monday
Damn.
was 26 weeks. So we're definitely getting there. It's going to be a little girl, so we're pretty excited.
Very nice.
Trying to just now, literally starting to work on the nursery,
And this,
all that stuff.
This was like partially kind of related to why you even decided to move, right?
Yeah, we were kind of looking for a new place to raise a family, and started looking around and liked what we found up here, and so. But
Texas sucks.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Every day
But
gets
yeah,
worse.
so we're very excited for that. But yeah,
Well, that's
just
very
bring
cool.
that up. Obviously, later this year, I'll probably be stepping away for a little bit to deal with a baby.
That is understandable, but we're very excited.
Yeah.
No,
Congratulations.
It's super easy. So you got this.
It's funny, Brad. You're the only
Believe
one
this man.
that's telling me that.
Piece of cake.
I always
You'll get so much
I always think about the Andy Sandberg interview now, where he's talking about how he's like, yeah, before you have kids, whatever, all your friends are like, oh, you should do this. It's wonderful. You'll know it's the best thing you could ever possibly do. And the moment you have the child, they're like, welcome to hell. Like that.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Brad can provide you a list of phone games you can play in one hand while holding a newborn in the other.
Yeah, that is a lot of when they're in the lump stage. It really is a lot of just rocking with the sleeping baby.
So yeah, no, Bernadette's cousin Precious had a baby 2 months ago. So I actually saw him on Sunday. He's just over 2 months now. He's a little chunk. And yeah, I was talking with her husband Ryan, the baby's dad, about just the fact that there's so many limitations. He's like, the baby can't hold a bottle right now, so I got to hold it while I'm feeding him. So it's not like I can play games, and so yeah, it's just saying like trying to find certain things to be able to do while obviously baby comes first. But
It's so weird too, because all those milestones the first time are like exciting. You're like, oh, this kid's gonna walk. Let me help this kid walk. And then for the second kid, it was like, oh, please don't learn how to walk. Please don't learn how to walk. We're not gonna help you at all. Fucking take your time. Or
So sabotaging their own attempts
when they start moving,
to learn to walk. Yeah.
That's the
movements.
Thing. Yeah, when they start moving around, that's when life really changes. God.
Yeah, that's when the danger begins.
You gotta baby-proof everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thankfully, that's something that's in the back of my mind, but obviously I've not started, because even when the baby shows up, like it's not going to be opening drawers or climbing cabinets or anything like that. So don't need to worry about that day one or even month like 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah,
That's wild.
Yeah,
That's wild
for sure.
Crazy.
I'm
times.
very tall, but I learned a trick when my first baby was a baby, peeing in sinks. I'm very tall, so it's not hard for me. It's not hard for me.
Where did that come from?
I never had to pee in a sink before, but
My
then
brain
I realized,
is going in so many directions.
wait a
Why?
minute, I really need to pee. I don't want to leave this baby alone. It's chilling
gotcha.
over there on his boppy, but I don't want to leave the room. I'm just gonna pee in the sink.
Like the kitchen sink in the kitchen.
sink. I did the dishes. I
No.
kept the sink clean.
Wow.
I'm
I'm
pretty sure
If you're
never-
tall, it's an option.
I'm never gonna use a sink at Brad's ever.
Yeah, no, not this thing. This was the duplex. Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, we use that sink. Thank you, Brad.
Dude, we've used that
When
so
I had
much.
that kid, you were not. We weren't doing the show out of the duplex anymore.
Yeah, that is true. We started doing it at my place then.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I peed in all the sinks, so yeah, already too late.
Wait. Did you tell Carlos this though?
I mean, I don't know.
Carlos helped.
I cleaned the sink.
He's like, let me hold it.
You're
for
just
you, Dad."
jealous that I can pee in a sink, being the height that I am.
what a height. You think we can't pee in sinks?
Well,
you just
it's
aim up.
dicier for a shorter person.
You think
gotta
that's
just,
you
aim
think
it
we're
up.
jealous of your ability to pee in a sink? You think that's why we're not peeing in sinks?
Well, I mean,
That's the only reason because we. Oh my
That's
we
what's
should
holding us
get
back.
the rewrite. Oh my god!
All these sinks I could be peeing in.
look, man. It's look. It wasn't until I had a baby. All right.
Yeah. No.
Not like I've been peeing in sinks my whole life.
King Carey says
It was just
5'8", peeing on
occasionally
cabinets.
in an emergency situation.
Peeing in the cap. Jesus Christ.
That's why you get that's why your bottom drawer is now the piss drawer. You can just pee in there and then close it.
That's almost like that's almost weird enough that I feel like it'd be less weird if you were just like, I learned a secret when I first had my first kid: adult diapers. You know, that would have been a lot easier. I feel like
at least you're using the diaper for what it's intended for, not the fucking sink.
I kept the sink clean, man. I washed the dishes. Don't y'all?
I said
clean.
I said that jokingly, but I'm pretty sure if somebody in chat wants to Google it, I'm pretty sure that was a thing. Like my little brother's upset because my mom found his piss drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a
What?
4 or 5 year old who just kept, instead of going to the bathroom, he would just pee in the drawer on his bedside table.
Oh, fuck that.
Getting up in the middle of the
Google
night.
it.
Yeah.
that you know what
That's
that
a
sounds
classic.
You know what that sounds alarming.
No, I know what it
close to,
sounds
right?
like. Yes.
Okay.
See, Pocop already found it.
Oh. Well,
I ran the
It's
disposal.
very much in that same genre of like poop knife.
Bernadette has entered the chat. She's not saying anything about the sink, so I feel like she missed the sink story.
I mean, if
Anyways.
she's peeing in the sink, I'd be very.
You're gonna
impressed.
look at your counter and you'll be like, man, these sinks are too high.
Here's the thing, Brad, is the way you're bringing this up, it sounds like this was more than just a single one-off scenario.
This
Like
sounds
this is
like
a
It was
repeated
not
event that
just a
happened multiple
one-off
times.
thing. It happened multiple times.
I guess you could set up like a Hot Wheels track.
Life
Like
becomes
with the
different,
ramp?
is all I'm trying to say. We are focused too much on the peeing in the sink. Just
I mean, it's true. That's true. Well, in an effort to rein this back in, congratulations, Nolan and Bernadette.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's super exciting.
Yay.
Very
it's
exciting.
exciting.
Don't pee in sinks.
Horrifying.
Unless, of course, it just comes to that, and you need to. Well, I feel like one of these days, Nolan's gonna be in a situation where he's like holding the baby, and it's like he's gonna have the thought. And he's like, "Oh my god, Brad was right.
It's time.
This is my moment."
Brad was right. The whole world. I mean, I'm not offering a unique perspective.
whole
here. I
world.
think he's gonna.
If you listen to this podcast and you peed in sinks
Oh well, he's
because
not-
you were taking care of a
open up
newborn
the
child, let's be specific.
Nick, would you like me to go onto our Twitter and Blue
Where's
Sky
my
account?
fellow
and create a
tall
poll?
dads at? Tall dads represent.
I can start a poll
No,
right
no.
now asking if people in chat are sink pissers.
No, it's not going to be like suddenly a moment. It'll 1000% be the first night in the hospital with the baby, and you're more tired than you've ever been. Bernadette will be even more tired, and you realize, wait a minute,
Nice save.
I can't just go to sleep for 8 hours or 6 hours or whatever and just carry on.
I know.
because I'm tired.
I know.
It's
I'm gonna have to pee in this
It's
sink.
a tough one. It's a tough one, but it
The only
becomes
option.
easier. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Although both
I'm
my
glad
kids
we
are
covered
sick right
that.
now with like different sicknesses. It's horrifying when that starts. But oh man,
But it's great.
so worth it.
All right, let's get this. Let's shift over. What are we here to talk about? Video games,
Allegedly,
right? That's what we do here. Y'all want to talk about? Nolan, have you been playing this too? Because you put it as your background, or is it?
No.
No, okay.
It's just my background. I have not played
Okay.
it. I almost did. I almost pulled the plug. Literally, I still have a tab open to purchase it. I just didn't do it.
I saw what
Gotcha.
your other background was earlier before we started the show, and I
Don't do
got
it. Don't
a little
bring it up.
excited.
A little
I
excited.
don't even remember what it was.
It was the picture. It was the picture.
Wait,
Nolan.
no. This is the
No,
perfect
before that.
opportunity to like pull up something that gave Chris Davis a boner. What
That was-
what got him so excited earlier?
I'm going to say it right now before Brad fucks me over. It's Earth Defense Force 6.
No, that was just left over from the last time we did a podcast. That was the last time I was on. We talked about it.
Oh.
Okay, so he's just putting his background as whatever we're playing in solidarity. I get it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about Black Myth Wukong, right? That's what I've been playing. That's what I've been spending
Tell
quite a
us.
bit of time. It's the first game I played since upgrading my PC. By the way, shout out to Chris Davis. Wanted to do this on the podcast because Chris Davis obviously came over and helped me. I'm not like a PC expert, and he came over and helped me install my new motherboard and CPU and cooling system and all that stuff. So I am good to go. And
Wait.
yeah.
Sounds like you just built a new PC.
Not entirely, but I mean, I'm still using the same GPU, and my case is the same. I mean, it's not. It was just like four parts, but they were big,
What is
important
the-
pieces.
It's the PC of Theseus.
I have a
You
3070
blew my
Ti.
mind
PC
when someone told me what your processor was, and I couldn't believe it.
Well, I got a new processor as part of this, but I have the same GPU. So I have a 3070 Ti, but now I have a newer processor. Anyways, I've been wanting to upgrade for a while, and I finally just said fuck it, and I pulled the trigger. So Chris Davis, once again, shout out. Thank you.
So he's gone from a 6700 Intel to a 7800X 3D from AMD.
6700. That's like an 8-year-old CPU.
It is.
Yeah, I was
a 37.
bottlenecking my GPU pretty
Wait,
significantly.
what did you get?
A 7800X 3D.
He knows it off the top of his head. I don't.
800X3D. Okay.
And 32 gigs of RAM.
Yes, I've doubled my RAM. That was a big one. So, anyways, neither here nor there. Black Myth Wukong. I've been playing this. And there's... I don't even know where to start with this because I didn't really know... This is like one of those games that, like, I couldn't really read for the longest time. And it's... Also, I was kind of like, is this a Souls-like? Is it a character action game? What is this? And now that I've played it, and I've been seeing a lot of talk, obviously, about this game being sort of a boss rush, which I think is fair.
Not like in the
sense.
traditional sense.
Not in the
just
traditional sense, because you're not literally going from boss fight to boss fight to boss fight. There's just so many bosses, and the levels are so
They're like 93
bosses.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I heard. I think.
That sounds. I mean, it's also like a mix of like mini bosses and like actual like large bosses and whatnot.
But what I heard is that the non-boss enemies that are like in between are kind of like nothing.
They're just
so.
fodder.
They can be. So one thing I'll say, like right out of the gate that I did, and I think I read this somewhere, just someone like making recommendations, and I've kind of was like, oh, okay, I might as well just do that. Like very early on in the first level, this first chapter of this game, you come across an optional mini boss that you could run right by, and it's like it'll fucking just smash you into the ground, and and a lot of people were like, if you take the time, and you just like, it's gonna be frustrating if you take the time and you stick it out until you beat that boss, you'll be set for a while. Like you'll feel like, and I did that, and it took me probably about 2.5-3 hours to finally topple this one boss. But everything after that, like ever since that, I think I'm finally hitting kind of like a little bit of a wall, like where I'm fighting a boss where it's like giving me like a really decent challenge. But like most bosses, most major encounters I've come across since that boss, I've beaten in my first, second, or third try. Usually second, probably.
Can I ask what kind of difficulty it is? Like, is it that the boss goes on so long and you just have to kind of like be perfect for so long, or is it just so relentless for a short amount of time?
You mean that hard boss that I was talking about?
No, I just mean like what makes the bosses difficult in this game? Like
it's very aggressive
the flow
and
of combat.
The bosses are very aggressive, and so what I will say,
they kill you quick.
Yeah. So first of all, to kind of like paint a picture of what this game is, if you're not familiar, it's a character action game based around the mythology of Journey to the West, right? And I'm not super familiar with that mythology, but I know that lots of games have tapped into it, whatever. So
you don't know about Dragon Ball?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not super familiar with like the actual like original works, right?
I gotcha.
But it's been done countless times in video games, So what this is essentially is a character action game. I think it maybe has more like Devil May Cry DNA in it than, because I think my assumption, a lot of people's assumption right out of the gate was this was like a Souls-like, and I've found so far that like the Souls DNA is like super minimal. Like for
Well,
instance,
it's like the bosses. You think of Souls bosses, you think of
yes, I mean challenge is definitely part of it. I think in that sense, maybe there's a little. That's probably where you get a little Sekiro, a little bit of Souls, right? But like the Souls is like you have an Estus flask essentially that you can upgrade. You can change. You can also like change what the effects are of that Estus flask, which are nice. And when you save and refresh your health, all the enemies respawn, right? But when you die, you don't lose your souls. So you're not like having to like make it back to your souls to get all that stuff back. So you just retain all your experience as you die over and over again, and you can level up whenever you want.
So it's easy
how much of a
mode Souls
progression
game.
system is there?
I mean, progression is pretty deep because there are lots of skill trees, lots of different kinds of abilities. So you're fighting enemies, you're collecting spirits that you can then use to like you can have one equipped at once, right? And that gives you the ability to summon a creature that you fought before and use one of their special attacks. And then you have the ability, if you're watching the footage, you can transform into this like wolf creature that has like this flaming blade, and then he has his own set of skills and whatnot. In fact, when you switch to that, when you transform like that, you actually get a whole new life bar and a whole new set of attacks. And when that runs out, you just revert back to your original form. So you have like all those different layers, and all of those different things have skill trees. So every time I'm constantly kind of like paralyzed by choice. Like when I level up and I get a skill point, I'm like,
out. Can you, since stuff respawns at
yeah, you can definitely grind out, and
you can grind out skills and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing that right now because I finally found a boss that's kind of whooping my ass. So I'm like, well, I should probably go grind out some points and like upgrade my defense or upgrade my shock resistance
like,
or whatever it may be.
Pretty linear though. Like, where do you go when you want
to? I'm on the second chapter of this game, and they're both kind of different approach. The footage you're watching here is from the first chapter of the game, which is very much like this like mountain forest area, and it's pretty linear. In fact, I was kind of shocked. I was like, it feels open, like because the game is so fucking beautiful and like detailed that like the environment feels large, but when you try to like, if you try and like, oh, I'm gonna jump over this rock and like see what's over behind it, it'll stop you. So
invisible walls.
Yeah, invisible walls kind of all over the place. So I was kind of under the impression that it's, okay, this is going to be a pretty linear action game. And then I got to the second chapter, and it's a totally different ball game. It's I don't think anybody here played Stellar Blade. Maybe
I have.
Like, okay, so
I know what you're talking about. There's open environments.
Yeah, there's open environments there that have, but they're open in the sense that there's some big open space, and then it'll like funnel you off in different directions that have some linear pathways that then loop back around and connect to each other, and you find shortcuts and stuff. But it's never like open in the way that like Elden Ring is open or anything like that.
Is there just one map?
No. It is
okay.
it is level based, and when you get to a quote unquote bonfire, you can fast travel between the different save points, so you can like backtrack and do stuff like and kind of go, because there's also like side quests. You'll find characters in the environment that are like, there's this like warthog dude that I found right now who's like drunk, and you have to bring him something to sober him up, and then as soon as you sober him up, he's like, oh, now I'm hungry, and then he's like, I want you to go find this, and you have to go find something to feed him or whatever. And I'm sure it's building up to like, I do all these things for him, and he's gonna give me something. So I'm like constantly like kind of like going all over the place in this huge map trying to figure it out. Here's the problem: there is no map in this game, like none. And it wasn't really a problem in the first chapter. In the second chapter, it took me probably, I mean, I've been in the second chapter now for probably about 6 hours, and I'm feeling like I'm just now kind of starting to kind of like understand how everything is connected and how to like navigate it. So it's shocking to me that there's no map, and I don't know what the other chapters are like, if they're going to get more complicated or if it's going to kind of like go back and forth between like kind of simple and linear and open. I don't know, but it feels, it's kind of like a glaring omission, kind of like how you feel playing Starfield, and you're like, what do you mean? You know, this doesn't have a vehicle, or this doesn't have, you know, it just seems kind of like a glaring omission. But man,
or a map, also with Starfield.
Or yeah, well, yeah. I forgot. Starfield didn't really have much of a map to begin with, and now they've upgraded it. So, but yeah. So Blackheart in chat is saying each chapter is bigger than the previous chapter. I'm only in the second. I think there's 5,
great.
maybe. Yeah, there's like maybe 6 chapters. So I'm like 13 hours, 14 hours into this game. I'm getting close to the end of chapter 2. So there's theoretically 3 or 4 more chapters to go, and apparently they get more complicated and larger and more open, I guess, as you go, which makes sense. So I'm feeling like the map issue is going to become more and more of a problem as the game goes on. But combat is so fun in this game. I am fucking love it because like it's got a really slick, perfect, because there's no blocking, so it's all based on dodges. So you have to get really good at the time, and that's kind of where I think the most of the difficulty comes into play with bosses, because bosses are super aggressive, and you really got to get good at dodging.
Getting the fuck out of the way.
Getting the fuck out of the way is the secret sauce in this game. But like just the number of abilities and things they give you. Like I'm only, like I said, 2 chapters in, and I have so many options. And I was like, I could if I wanted to, I could make a completely different build of this character if I wanted to. Like just change out the summon, change out my equipment, change out my abilities, and like some of the abilities they give you, and you earn the abilities as you like take down like the major bosses and shit. Some of the abilities so far are really fucking cool. Like I just unlocked an ability that when you use it, it summons like 5 or 6 clones of you that all just start wailing on the enemy. And they all have their own separate life bars and their own separate attacks, and they'll kind of like mirror what you're doing. So if you're like just wailing with light attacks, they'll start kind of doing the same thing. And I've just destroyed like tough enemies by summoning
like an equipment
them.
system.
So here, that's my other minor gripe. There is
Are
an
there
equipment
builds? Can you build
Yes.
a character in this story?
There is an equipment system, and you craft it by finding stuff in the environment, right? Here's the problem, and there's been other games that I've seen do this. Like it kind of drives me crazy because a lot of the armor sets are really cool, but they have specific stats, and you can't upgrade those stats. So like at some point, armor that you might find armor that gives you a resistance to like electricity or something, so it's good against certain enemies or bosses. But like the stats might be like something that was really helpful in like the first chapter, but if you're in chapter 4, I don't think it's worthwhile putting on that set of armor just to get the resistance, because your defense is going to go down like 40 points or something.
Well, just don't get hit then.
That's the secret, right? Yeah. So that's kind of annoying, and I wish there was a way to kind of like find an armor set that you like and just start putting points into it or something, or changing kind of the makeup, the stat makeup or whatever of that armor, but you can't do that. But there's
the ability
there's a lot of choice. Wait, say again?
Nothing.
There's also stances.
Stances. I do like stances.
Now, I will say this: the stances seem to have more of an impact on like the heavy attacks that you can do, as opposed to like the light attacks. So like, there's a pole. I forgot what it's called. It's like the pole stance. So like, when you do your heavy attack, your pole will like grow, and he'll like perch on the top of it. And if the longer you can hold that, your focus bar will build up, and it will charge, and your pole will get longer and longer and longer, and with each bar that fills up, it gets stronger. And then when you let go, he like wails on him, and it's really cool. But like, you have to find the right opening to try and build your focus meter.
Oh, I could show you the right opening.
Looks like you could bounce a quarter off that pole.
I picked a great one to demonstrate here. But yeah, I mean, and that the pole stance is by far my favorite one so far. But like,
you like
again,
using that pole. I understand.
I do, and I'm like, again, 2 chapters in, and there's so much choice for how I could equip this character. I'm really excited to see what it's like going forward.
But how are like the gender roles and the diversity?
Oh God,
terrible. No,
are the women ugly on purpose, or are they pretty?
I'm assuming that's in reference to something.
There's some controversy about this game. Yeah, I mean, it's made in China, and
talk about it.
Fuck that. So the studio, when they send out review codes for this, they put, you know how they send you like stipulations, you can stream this, can't stream this, whatever.
Don't show certain things, yeah.
They basically included a bullet point in this list, kind of like right in the middle of the list, that was like, oh, by the way, we also don't want you mentioning feminist propaganda or talking about the COVID-19 while playing Black Myth Wukong. Whatever.
Oh, and
it's just,
don't forget that you can't talk about your fetishes either. You can't do that.
oh, wait, was that one of them?
That was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can somebody send me
I
this
think I know
list?
what they're implying by that when they say don't talk about your fetishes.
because they're all yeah, okay. So right, yeah. So the studio or people at the studio have a rather troublesome. I don't.
They suck.
was
They
bad.
sound like they suck.
They sound like
sound
they
like
really
they
fucking suck. And I haven't streamed this, and I was
Also,
really,
this is the champion of the culture war right now. This is like the all-star. It was Stellar Blade earlier this year, but they have a new dog in this race, and or monkey in this race, I suppose. And it's pick up Wukong where the women are still pretty, and it's
Farrakhan in chat says one of the things was not to mention Dragon Ball.
What?
Oh no, we fucked up.
We did.
Well, this is
did.
not a review copy. We're not reviewing it.
Yeah, we're not beholden to. This was only for people who were given review codes, which we weren't, and I'm glad. I mean, I was kind of like, I was considering streaming this the other day, and I was like, if I'll stream this, if I can set feminist propaganda as the game in the Twitch library, but obviously that's not an option.
I gotta say, Nick, when it comes to your top 10 list at the end of the year,
I know I
know you like thinking about it. I know you like thinking about it.
I always
if you put this above Nine Souls, I feel like you're making a statement.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying. That's a good point.
Hold on. Their list says you can't discuss opinions.
Wait, really?
Well, the direct quote is discuss content related to China's gaming industry policies, opinions, news, etc.
Yeah, they apparently don't want you making any kind of commentary on anything outside of the game itself that has any kind of. It's shitty. It is bullshit.
Yeah.
I see what. I'm glad you brought that up, Brad, because I probably would not have thought about.
You know what? It must be frustrating too for the gamer gators, right? Because they probably want to talk about that shit, but technically they're not supposed to. So, sucks to be them.
Yeah. It's all around. It's pretty fucking shitty. I don't like that. So maybe we should just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, I guess the last thing is that it sold like a cajillion copies.
Yeah. But also it's one of the it's selling like gangbusters, and that's a lot of that has to do with China because this is obviously a huge deal in China because Journey to the West is a big deal in China, and so
there's been like dozens and dozens of games and stuff based on Journey to the West. This broke like crazy records. It's like the most concurrent players playing a single player game by like orders of magnitude above like number 2. It's literally the second highest concurrent players.
Do you remember what the first
game
one
on
was?
Steam ever? And it's a single player game, which is actually crazy. I think number 1 is still what is number 1?
It's like Fortnite or something. I don't know.
Or like Counter Strike.
PUBG. Oh, yeah.
PUBG is actually the peak all time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. PUBG's at 3.2 million. Black Myth is at 2.4.
But I mean,
do y'all think anybody
crazy for not just a single player game, but Chinese developed games, Korean developed games also, right? In recent years, they're just like, it's crazy, maybe it started with like Genshin Impact or whatever, but like it's,
I mean, it's crazy. And this is just kind of more of a personal anecdote, I guess, but like for a long time, I've kind of lumped, because I've been looking forward to this game for a while and following it and whatnot. But for the longest time, I was kind of lumping it into the same category as like for me, like Atomic Heart, where I was like, that's not a real game. That's just going to be like
this
something
is
super. It's going to be super shallow, and it's just going to look really pretty, and it's going to be kind of like a 4-hour interactive movie or whatever that just looks really nice. and then it comes out and you're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, this game, there is a lot of game here. It is super deep. It looks super nice. It's fun to explore. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I'm incredibly surprised. So,
do you think? Obviously we shouldn't be beholden to their review request, but I'm curious if anybody from the studio would ever see this and understand the fact that 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre and Taiwan is not a part of the People's Republic of China. And
there we go.
All right, we're banned in China now.
There you go. We're good.
Damn. Hot diggity dog. Just like
You
that.
got put 9 souls above Wukong, Nick.
Okay, but here's the deal. Like oh,
no,
you're right.
I'm working for
You're-
the party.
You're fucking right,
I've had
Brad.
my suspicions.
I kind of do. I mean, the good news is that 9 Souls is an excellent fucking video game that I do also highly recommend everybody play. Fuck, but you make good points. Anyways, that's Black Myth Wukong. I'm loving it. I'm gonna keep going with it. We'll see.
I would try it if it wasn't everything I hated about Souls games. So
I mean, here's what I will say about.
I don't want to be stuck on a bunch of hard bosses, and that's
Well,
literally this game. Hard bosses
well,
is the game.
Maybe I'm maybe not qualified to really fully give this assessment yet, but like I'm having a much easier time with this than I was expecting. And I probably need to knock on some fucking wood. No, I'm serious. I'm serious, dude. Like, it's the actual like pacing of the difficulty so far has been really nice. Like I said, until the boss that I'm stuck on right now, I have beat almost every boss in 2 or 3 tries easily, and I attribute that to obviously hitting my head against a wall early on and getting really familiar with the flow of combat. But like once you do that, you're kind of set for life for a while, anyways. I'm really hoping I'm not gonna eat my words.
Maybe I'll wait till like the late game, because I feel like we had this conversation with 9 Souls as well. When y'all were like earlier on,
But
you're like, it's manageable, but then like towards the end of the game, you're like, what the fuck?
But you're not constantly dealing with the push and pull of like a traditional Souls game where it's like, I'm making all this progress, I have like 100,000 souls, and oops, I fell off a cliff and I lost it, and I'm never gonna get those back.
Sure,
like, you're not dealing with that, which is super nice. Anyways, yeah, so that's Black Myth Wukong. How are we doing on time? Do we want to take a break before we come back and talk about Tactical Breach Wizards? Or
We're coming up on 10. We can take a break.
TBW.
Right. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Tactical Breach Wizards, and I think, Crispy, you're going to tell us a little bit about Abiotic Factor, right? Maybe?
Yeah,
possibly?
maybe.
Cool.
I think it's
And then
We'll
abiotic.
play it next week.
I think it's abiotic factor.
Or
Yeah, it is.
Didn't I say abiotic? Or did I say biotic?
You're
I don't
saying
know.
You
You're
said
saying-
biotic.
abiotic.
Biatch. Okay, sorry. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll talk about it. We'll wrap up the 4-player minute. So if you're watching us live or listening at home, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Ambiotic Factor.
Ambiotic. That's a totally different thing.
Not really.
800.
807.
807.
807.
I'm going to go get some water. I'll be right back.
You do
That's
that.
Bruce Lee's favorite drink. I will also be right back.
I will stick around.
How's chat doing?
Doing good. Had some lurkers pop up.
How much TBW did you play, Crispy? He's gone.
I'm on
Act 2?
Act 2. Yeah, is that
Hmm.
Act 1 is after
The tutorial? Or, I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about it.
the traffic warlock. That's the end of Act 1, right?
Yes. Yeah. Steve,
Okay.
your first encounter with Steve.
Steve Clark.
Fuck Steve.
Fuck
The
you,
game is
Steve.
good. It's really good.
I'm split on either starting TBW or Peglin when I start. When I
Chris
get my Patreon.
Davis. Fuck Peglin, dude. You'll love You'll love Tactical Breach
Tactical
Wizards.
Breach Wizards is sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
You specifically will vibe with this game.
I don't. Yeah. I remember. We should talk about.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. What are you talking about? Like, I assumed you would have been picking this up day one regardless.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just been trying to save
You
money.
just seem Tom Francis pilled. I don't know. Didn't you play Heat Signature and Gunpoint?
Oh, I love Gunpoint. I wasn't that much of a fan of Heat Signature.
Well, how much time did you fuck with? How much time did you put into Heat Signature?
Probably 4 or 5 hours.
That's a game where you sort of get what you give, you know.
Dude,
I mean,
I think Gunpoint was like one of the first games I ever streamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defenestration has always been a part of this series, this
Yeah.
trilogy.
The Defenestration trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Chris Davis, for sure, dude.
Let's see.
You're, yeah.
What I miss? What's going on?
Is this game woke?
I'm talking about Tactical Breach Wizards.
What's up, Cord Lovey? Have you already said hello to Cord Lovey? He's first time watching us live.
What's up,
even though
Cord Lovey?
He's been watching
since
the
you
YouTube.
were a kid. Yeah, a long time ago.
Cassius hasn't been on for over 3 years. Oh my god, what is going on?
I'll do you one better. We had a lurker on YouTube. Maria. She what was her quote here? Back after years, good to see the gang.
Hooray! We'd love to have y'all on our Discord.
Yeah.
If you want to stay in touch, even if you can't catch us live all the time, our Discord's always popping off. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you missed the
We don't
broadcast,
really
you can always watch
upload
the YouTube version.
much to YouTube anymore, but check out the latest Fear Hunter video.
Fear Hunter?
I'm doing the Vince McMahon.
Oh.
It's different. Sorry, different time.
Where is this son of a bitch? Where is he? Take me to him. You stay here.
What? That's weird.
Player made missions.
Oh. Tactical Breach Wizards currently $17.99 on Steam.
Yep, if you get it during that launch week, because you get the tactical gear outfits. What are they called?
I bought it.
WizTech. You get the WizTech outfits, but only if you buy it in the first launch sale week.
I bought it, but I didn't get those outfits.
No. You still have to buy them in the game, but they become. You don't even get an option to buy them if you don't have the launch week purchase, unless you buy like the special edition or something.
That's cool.
There's some good ones too. Oh, the outfits are good. Oh, it's hard to decide though because there's so many confidence points, and I can afford.
No, we're just on break.
You don't even have that character yet, but
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Cult Phase, Med School. Oh, they look so good.
What are we talking about?
Oh.
Tactical
The
Breach
outfits
Wizards.
and Tactical Breach Wizards. Some good ones.
Oh, they.
I feel like Zan doesn't have that many
optional
great ones,
conversations.
but all the other characters have so many cool ones.
Zan's default is pretty like.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, it's good. It's good. But I feel like his last three are just like palette swaps, while the other ones get like really cool
Yeah.
outfits, man. It's
Do
cool.
we have any
I'm
fancy-
excited for you to keep playing Crispy because it's so good. It's so good. Like the characters and stuff. Like I like the writing. It's very we'll
like
talk about it.
Yeah. We'll talk.
It's very nerdy. But I guess that's
Um,
sort of like just how he I mean that's how Gunpoint was, I guess.
It's a little. It's a little quippy.
Yeah, but like in a fun Gilmore Girls-y type way.
Is a fun Gilmore Girls-y type way even?
Gilmore Girls with wizards.
That-
I mean,
Really?
it's sincere though. It's nerdy. It's nerdy, but there's bits. So like the thing is, I don't know how much you've played, but the more you play, they kind of like build on stuff that they set up earlier in the game in really funny ways, and it starts to the charm starts to work on you, because I wasn't necessarily on board right away. Like I got what they were doing, but I was like this is a lot they want me to read in between these sequences, and I kind of want to play the game, but like it's sort of almost become like just as much of a highlight for me as anything like gameplay related. I'm starting to really like these characters.
I mean, I'm digging the story so far. Like, I do like the rapport between the characters. We should roll.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
We should talk about it.
Save it for the show. Age old motto. I'm recording.
I am recording as well.
Yes.
Do
Ray.
Ray.
Don't fucking say it.
I don't even want to, so
I didn't say it, but I felt like I said it. I felt like it doesn't need to be said. It's in everybody's head.
Yeah, he already won.
No, because I was thinking of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Haha. That's pretty good. All right. Everybody recording?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Roll call starts now. Brad.
hello.
Nolan.
This is Nolan, and I'm doing my roll call for the second part of the show.
Crispy.
Hello.
Chris Davis.
Hello, this is Chris for the part 2 roll call.
Wonderful. Welcome back to the show. Brad, Crispy, y'all could barely contain yourself talking about tactical breach wizards. I can't get the words out. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. During the break, and we said, save it for the show. Well, we're back, and y'all are ready to talk about tactical breach wizards.
I am. I've been playing a ton of this. This is it's the new Tom Francis game, the third game in the
Tom Francis, is that
trilogy.
this is the guy who made Gunpoint, right?
Yes, the guy made Gunpoint and Heat Signature, which were games about knocking dudes out windows. He continues to make games about knocking people out of windows. This is like
Tradition.
at a glance looks kind of XCOM-y. The tactics I'd say are a little more like Into the Breach, or the lesser known but equally awesome Invisible Ink, where you're kind of like in tight spaces and you see everything the enemy is going to do before they do it, like what they're going to do in their next turn, and it's more sort of about like handling that situation that's in front of you, like making the choices because it's the kind of tactics games where basically if you get hit, your character is going to die, so you need to handle like this situation for this turn completely based on the information you have and the tools that you have access to, which are a lot. Because you are wizards, breach wizards. You're military kind of
Spec Ops wizards.
Spec Ops wizards who are all about breaching rooms. Let me tell you, there was an XCOM game that came out that was about breaching rooms that came out after this game was announced, and I bet I wasn't
Chimera Squad, you mean?
You know, what's that? Yeah,
Chimera
Squad. Tactical Breach Wizard's been in development for a long time, and he announced the game like before that XCOM game came out, and that must have been like the worst day of his fucking life. That must have been horrible. I wasn't like kind of following him back then, but I would love to hear him talk about that, because it was literally it was almost the same idea. Almost. But this is very different. Like I said,
once in a while.
XCOM and Into the Breach are very different things, I feel like, in terms of like tactical games. Like this is almost like puzzle like in a way, because it's about handling that combat situation you're in. And Also, Fights in Tight Spaces. I don't know if any of y'all played that. That's sort of like a similar kind of thing of like, small form, like tactical battles like this. And it's cool. It's funny. That's the thing. It's it's called Tactical Breach Wizards, which is a very silly, cheesy thing, right? And like the game leans into it so hard, and it's like sincere about it. It's very, like Crispy said during the break, it is very quippy.
I was noticing the I guess the roles, or what's the word I'm looking for, the classes you were picking between. I don't know if they were classes or if they're just the names of outfits, but there was one that said like funeral chic, which I thought
it's everything is very tongue in cheek, very silly, but it's also like like the characters are well developed and it's like well written. It's not just a punchline or just a joke. I feel like when you watch that trailer that's like voiced by like fucking John St. John or whatever, right? Uh, it sounds cheesier. Like that makes it seem so much like uh, so much dumber than it is. Like it's like this is like a well developed like thought concept here. Like all the way down to like the tactics and the abilities and the way these characters like are different from each other, and the way it leads to like all these like interesting tools in battle, because you really can like the game, and you get a lot more as you go. You get more characters and your characters get more abilities. um you have a lot of like interesting choices, and but they're all tied to like spells and stuff, right? Like and it's all really silly, like there there's the Navy Seer, who's like the Navy. He's like a military background dude. And then that's Zan, and then there's Jin, who's this witch. She's a what is her actual class
She's a
called?
private detective.
She's like a private investigator witch, but her name is
it's
silly and
her class is freelance witch.
freelance witch.
Yeah. She has a wand that's like a nightstick that she can shoot.
Her
So she like holds that with like a flashlight. Like it's like it's sick. Honestly, though, like wasn't this? Maybe you know the answer to this, Brad.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing like the character designs from this game like years and years ago. Was this a thing that like started as a game, or was this a thing that started as like an art project and then they were like, "This is cool," and it turned into a game?
I don't actually know
remember,
the development
like, on
history. I do remember
Reddit-
when he first announced this game, but I don't remember.
Because my recollection of this was that it literally started with him just like drawing tactical wizards and being like, "Oh, is this a thing?" And then
like doodling it in his notepad.
Yeah, and then
or
like
whatever.
people on Reddit were like, "That's sick," and he like made it into a game. Like,
But that's the thing, right? Tactical
Like-
Breach Wizards sounds like something that could only come from like a joke and a doodle, right?
mhm.
But that's the thing; it's so like sincere and well developed, and they turn the joke into like really interesting,
Yeah,
like
compelling.
like moves, compelling moves and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's funny too. Like so the character Jen, she's this witch, private investigator witch, and her abilities moveset kind of focuses on not doing damage, but kind of moving enemies around, right? But you kind of synergize that with like the Navy Seer gets an ability, he can see 1 second into the future. That's like his power is to see 1 second into the future.
1
which
second.
is kind of
But it's
useless
the
unless you're
4C
breaching
button.
rooms.
This like 4C button is his power. So like you can set things up. If there are enemies who are going to move, you hit that 4C button, it does all their moves, and then you can rewind if you want to. Like you can always rewind to the beginning of the turn. Like
It's such a little mechanical thing, but like
it's huge.
it just lets you go like, well, I'm going to see 1 second into the future, set up all these moves, see what happens, and if it works out, okay, yeah, I guess I'll just that was good, and you just go from there. You don't have to like rewind and then do it again or whatever. It's like a weird little like interface thing, but again, it seems so like
quality
well
of
thought
life
out and
thing.
refined. And
It's one of those things that almost seems like it would break the game and just make it not fun, have no stakes, because it's like, oh, I can just rewind every turn, like every move, and like be super sure about what I'm doing. But like, it's like like Brad was saying, it's very like Into the Breach, where it's like very puzzly, like being able to rewind and like reset and try different things just to get more like efficiency out of each move you make is like the whole game, you know?
It's satisfying too, because they have these confidence goals, which are like you see in a lot of tactics games or whatever, which are like sort of like bonus objectives, right? And sometimes they're really like difficult to complete the mission while also getting those bonus objectives. But every time you complete one, you get 1 point, and confidence point you spend on unlocking character out costumes. Because I guess they need confidence to wear some of the sillier
Yeah.
outfits or whatever. But it's like super. I get into these things where how do I describe it? I get really obsessed with like creating the perfect turns because I want to like nail these confidence goals. Because you can go back to do them, but and you can even like because there is a progression system, which is a little strange for a game that is so like puzzly, but not. But I mean, Into the Breach has progression, but how should I say this? Everything is. I feel like in Into the Breach is very balanced around what you have when you go into a mission, right? In this game, you can unlock stuff. You have choices in how and what skills you want to upgrade. And the game doesn't really like balance around that. You just now have like new tools to play with. But and they tell you with these confidence goals that not only are these confidence goals can be really difficult, but you just might not be able to do these right now because you might not have
Come back.
invested in like a certain set of skills that would make this possible, because some of the confidence goals are like win this fight in a single turn or whatever, or in by turn 2. You might not have the skills to be able to complete that. But the thing is, they don't tell you that you don't have the skills for it. You just kind of have to figure it out. And at first I was like, that's a little like awkward because I don't want to be like beating my head against the wall trying to figure it out when I just can't pull it off. But I'm stubborn, right? And there are times where I think, oh, man, I really can't do it. But sometimes I'll just be like Into the Breach or whatever. I'll be looking at it just long enough and something will pop into my head and I'll have an idea because you have all these tools. And when I can figure it out, when I've been feeling like it's impossible, that's a cool feeling. And I don't think that works unless they give you a ton of like moving parts. And they do. So don't think that like sometimes I feel like when people think puzzle like when it comes to a tactics games, it makes it seem like there's one way to do it. You don't get that feeling at all from this game. You have so many options and tools in like moving parts that it never feels like there's a correct way to do it. It feels like so like
Does it
even
feel
though
like
it's
one
puzzle
of
like
those?
the battles can still feel like a little scrappy, a little like seat of your pants.
Does it feel like one of those games where you feel like a developer might watch somebody play it and be like, "Oh shit, I didn't
Yes,
think about that."
1000%. Like if it
Yeah.
feels like that kind of thing. Like it was in but I also feel like maybe the developer also just doesn't want to say because they've been working on this game for like 7 years.
So
And I
they've
feel
seen
like
everything.
so they not just that they've seen everything, but like I think the more I've played this game, the more I've realized I bet that they've been wanting me to do this. Or at least I figure I know I can do this, and I bet the game wants me to do that because you can kind of use confidence goals, and then they have like side missions. They have these things called dreams, which are all more like explicitly puzzle like stages, even that seem like really like crazy or impossible. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I'll just come back to these when I upgrade, but sometimes I just like to dive in and really like sort of like unravel the puzzle and just see if I can figure it out. And maybe I'm not going to get the confidence goals. I am playing on hard. It can be pretty difficult. But it is nice to kind of like figure out how to get out of a situation that seemed impossible. And like, so like, for example, I told you like there's the witch who's like kind of moves characters around, and then there's the Navy SEER who could see 1 second in the future. He kind of has like an Overwatch ability, right, where he can like aim his thing forward, and if an enemy walks across it, he does a lot of damage, like basically kills that enemy.
Shot. Yeah.
So of course it's like, okay, well the witch can use her abilities to push the enemy into that range, and he'll take a shot, and that's like the most basic like synergy interaction. But then you start to think, wait a minute, I don't have to move enemies around. I can move the dude who's in Overwatch around with those same movement abilities because I'm not necessarily damaging him. And then there's like the next layer where it's like, wait a minute, who cares if I damage him? I could do all this crazy shit when I start banking my like chain lightning like ability off my own people and stuff. Like the more you play it, the more you realize that you had way more options than that you didn't maybe think that you
You
had
start
before.
to
And it's
see the
cool to
matrix
discover
code.
that. You start to see the matrix code a little bit, and it really kind of opens things up, and it kind of makes it exciting. So like I feel like that looseness is actually like the thing I was worried about in terms of that looseness is actually one of the things I like about it most, because they give you a lot of power and then they throw a lot at you, and it's cool. It's cool.
Can I just
And
say real quick how much I love like the look, like the animation of like when you breach a door or you do it, you
It's
make a
cool,
move,
yeah.
and it's like the slowed it, like the time kind of like constricts and slows down when things are like when you shoot something and it's like bursting through a wall, like the time kind of slows down. You can see all the debris flying, or when you kick somebody out of a door, like all of
it
that
looks
stuff
good and it
is
feels
just
good. You know, and you know, come on, Tom Francis or whatever, or in his small team, they know how to make something fly out of a window in a satisfying way. They've been doing it now for 3
Yep.
games. And but like let me give you another example of kind of how like the story and the silliness kind of turns into a mechanic, because I think some tactics games have like a hard time like, well, we don't want to give you all the tools, you know, early on. We want to kind of introduce them as they go, but we don't want to feel too much like a tutorial. And we also don't want to have like, we want to have, sometimes you want to have a good reason for why they haven't been using it. But like one of the like the witch has a broom, so a flying broom, so she can like jump out of a window and appear anywhere else in the stage by another window. That's just like a move she can do a couple of times a mission because she has a broom. And like it
a
was so
flying
funny
broom.
because like I'm in a story sequence where I'm just like talking, or I'm about to like breach a room, and you know they're always having conversations about what's in the room, because again the Navy seer can see 1 second into the future, so she's asking, so like what's inside, you know, and they're having conversations about that, and it gets a little quippy, but it's like there's a moment where she's just like, oh fuck, I had my broom this whole time, I just completely forgot. It's such like a silly little thing, but it's like that's actually kind of funny because it was literally on her back. And that's when they introduced the mechanic that lets you use the broom. It's like, okay, the game is silly, but it's like, oh man,
Clever.
it's taking that joke, it's taking that doodle and going all the way, and man, it's good. I don't know, it's good. You start to care about the characters. Bits start coming back.
The returning bits.
So like, there's the traffic warlock, right? I mean, when you first met that traffic warlock, Jin.
That's a character on your team, or
no? It's a
No, he's
it's
a
a
recurring villain.
he's on the enemy team basically, and he's like one of the first bosses. And you're outside the door talking about what's in the room, and you're talking about him, and you realize that Jin just really hates the traffic warlock Steve, and she says that, and like
His name is
Steve apparently
Steve
has really
Clark.
good hearing, is like, oh, I can hear you actually.
And she's
Jin.
like,
and she just
fuck.
screams like,
She's like,
fuck
fuck
you, Steve.
and then they
And
breach.
it's
Like,
and then they breach, and you realize she just hates him. But like throughout the game, you realize, oh, she really hates Steve, and everyone kind of hates Steve, and they like start like making jokes and like meta jokes about how much Steve sucks. And then like one of the things the game does is like the mission objectives on like a mission complete screen. It'll be like mission complete, or this objective complete, and it was like the actual stuff you were doing, but then they're usually in with like a joke, like one of them was like, oh, you know, sneak into this place and learn what Liv's plan is, and it would be like complete, and it'll be like understand Liv's plan, and it'll be like, you know, like there's this silly writing in even that kind of stuff, and it's like, it's good. It's fucking good. It's charming. Maybe it's not like fucking. What is your bar for comedy? I don't know.
I don't have a bar for comedy.
Man, what's a really smart comedy
What the? Oh God! What? Someone help me out. The name of the game where you're like, it's like fourth wall breaking, and you're like a game developer, aren't you? I think, or you're in like an office.
The
Oh my
Stanley
God!
Parable.
The Stanley
The
Parable.
Stanley Parable.
Uh-huh.
Maybe, well, actually, it is very British. Maybe Stanley Parable and this game are kind of in
Thank
sync with
goodness
each
you're
other.
here.
But
Untitled Goose
what I'm saying
Game.
is maybe it is a little like
I mean,
silly and like quippy, but it's also like it's very charming and it wears on you because all aspects of the game
grows
are
on you, that wears.
leaning into it so hard. I like it a lot.
I mean, it is a very endearing and compelling game so far.
Yes.
I'm enjoying it.
And I encourage you to keep going because it just keeps getting better and better.
Brad, are you playing this at all on a Steam Deck? Maybe I'm just curious.
I'm playing it on a Steam Deck. It is definitely like I think best with like mouse and keyboard. I tried messing with like the default kind of Steam Deck controls, but it seems silly because it does have like a touchpad, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of play like a Steam Deck game with like a mouse interface like pretty easily. So I kind of like just set up my own custom Steam Deck thing, so where I was, because I'm still kind of mostly playing it as like a mouse and WASD interface or whatever. But it took some tweaking. There's probably like some good community profiles out there for you to download already at this point. Like the game's doing pretty well. I'm sure that stuff exists. But it's not hard. It's not hard to like turn it on and go, this seems a little weird. I bet I can.
I kind of need something
like,
for my Steam Deck right now because most of the stuff I'm actively playing at the moment is just it's either on PlayStation or it's not. Like I'm not gonna play Black Myth Wukong on my Steam Deck. Are you kidding? That'd be crazy.
So I'm super fond of this game, Nick, but I also know that like you bounced off of like XCOM and Into the Breach, and I'm wondering and comedy.
But I did put Invisible Ink in my top 10 that year.
Okay, shut the fuck up about your top 10. I'm just saying you don't
Ink?
like.
Invisible
You're not like ride or die on fucking XCOM and Into the Breach and shit, or comedy, or silly comedy. So I recommend it to like Nolan and Chris Davis like wholeheartedly.
But I do like kicking people out of windows. That's always cool.
That's factually true for all events in life, though.
I mean, I feel like that alone is almost enough to sell the game.
The third character you get is a necromedic.
What?
We watched the trailer. She can heal you, but she has to kill you first. Like that's the whole thing with her. So and she'll literally, and she has a gun, but she never uses it for anything but healing people.
Killing you.
She literally has to kill you first. So she'll kill. So it's so funny too because I thought that she would just bring me back from the dead, but you can just use I just needed some help, and she literally killed me, but it wasn't a stage where that was a problem, and then brought me back, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I have more health than I did, even though I just died, so I guess that's fine, though. That is her thing. She's a necromantic. Doesn't like being called a necromancer because you're not a zombie afterwards. You're still living. I mean,
is there like a caught? Like, is there a downside to letting her kill you and then bring you
mechanically?
Back? Yeah.
Or
like,
I mean,
does it count against you somehow? Like that you actually
no. Sometimes confidence goals are like in the stage with like full health, but like that's not a problem. Okay. Just because you were previously dead, you're at full health again. So yeah. Again, just lots and lots of tools. She throws this like skull, which is like you aim it unlike anything else in the game, right? You actually can like line up like fucking bowling pins. You can like hit a bunch of enemies at once. And
is that what you're lining up on the screen right now?
Yeah, I'm spinning. So when I went to capture footage, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I want to capture footage, but at the same time, like, I want to do this right. So the people watching the footage are just going to have to chill while I figure this out because you rewind a lot to try to create the perfect turn sometimes. Sometimes you just kind of go with it.
You know what? But, this I know it's not the same thing, but like, and I know you're right. I did kind of bounce off of Into the Breach but I did play Desperados 3, and this does have kind of the same a vibe where you're spending a little time like
you were a cowboy and you were like more traditionally
like Mimi games or Mimi. I know it's not the same thing. I know it's not the same thing.
Nolan and Chris Davis, 1000%. I think y'all will like this.
Fuck you, Nick, is what you're saying.
We're just everyone's got different interests and tastes, and Crispy's the one I would recommend it to the most, probably.
Well, he's already
because-
playing it, so
I'm playing
I think
it
he's,
right now.
he's not even here.
I've been playing it while we've been talking about it.
Motherfucker.
It's funny because I think when I first brought it up, Crispy was like, "Man, that'd be such like a good D&D character." And I noticed like so many people in the comments for like the videos are like saying the same fucking thing. It really does feel like a silly D&D campaign gone right, I guess.
That's a good way to pitch it.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
It's
big
fun.
recommend. I like it a lot.
Now I know we don't have footage, but Crispy, you've been dabbling in abiotic factor, right? Is there which we've watched a few trailers for this during trailer talk, and every time it comes up, I feel like we're all kind of like enamored by it, and maybe I'm feeling like maybe eventually we'll do like a game night together with this because I feel like it looks like it'd be fun
Yeah, I think
co-op wise.
I think it'd be a good game night game.
What can you tell us about it? Though? I know you've only said you've done about 4 hours of it.
Well, I played a little more today. Where to start? I suppose so. Like, the premise that we've been operating on, that the game is operating on, is that it's like if you took the original Half-Life, but it was like an open world survival crafting game.
Yes, please.
Instead of just a first-person shooter. So
Please and thank you.
Yeah, so it's like Half-Life meets Rust a little bit, meets
Rust?
like
And you can,
like,
and you
this
can
is-
clearly see that Half-Life
yeah.
DNA, like when you
Rust
look at like shots of it.
or Rust
There's definitely Rust
or
elements
like
to it.
or any kind of crafting game, right? You're not like really building buildings, I don't think. I don't know. I'm not far enough in to be doing that kind of shit, but like
But is it like specifically like PvP server kind of survival game?
Uh,
I
my
don't
knowledge,
think
no.
it is. I don't think it.
It's PvE.
I don't know. I don't think
with
it's.
the group, right?
I don't think they. I don't think like Rust is very like PvP oriented, right?
Yeah.
But like something like Valheim is less so,
Yeah.
right? It's more like Valheim, where
Okay.
it's like you're all kind of stuck in this facility together, and you can work together and try to like.
That's cool.
Escape.
I
Like,
was
the
thinking at the first
story.
glance, I thought this was like a Lethal Company like. I'm
No,
glad to
dude.
hear
I
it's
mean,
a
it is
survival
straight
game.
up. I mean, you are in Black Mesa, like straight up. Like it is. It is such a like.
It
such
almost
a
doesn't seem
riff.
legal.
Yeah, it's such a riff on. I mean, it. You know, it's.
It's
it is
legally
its own
distinct,
thing.
as we like to say
Yeah,
here.
I don't
Mhm.
like to say that. I don't like that mentality. But, it is different. It is like a parody almost of, Black Mesa, and it is kind of like a funny, darkly humorous game. But yeah, it's like if Black Mesa was like an open world that you were stuck in, and instead of just like going from point A to point B and like doing what everybody's telling you to do like you do in Half-Life, you kind of have to just like figure it out and like hack your way through it. And the fucked up thing is that like any other crafting game, you have to manage food and water, you have to manage sleep, you have to manage like your health, because there's a lot of like goo that'll get on you that makes it easier for you to get sick. You can get you can catch diseases. You can
Don't touch the goo.
get radiation poisoning. Like there are entire areas that are just like flooded in radiation. You have to manage your bowels. Like you have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like you have to build a toilet at
There
some
we
point,
go.
or use like and like so like you're
Is there like a
you're
meter
living.
that shows your bowels being filled?
There are meters for everything, yes, and then like your character talks too, so like they'll be like, "Oh, I need to find a toilet." Like they're like a wormy little pencil neck dweeb who just got hired at Black Mesa, right? So you're a nerd, but like really
the dudes
like
that you love to kill as Gordon Freeman. At least
yes,
I do when I play.
you're one of those guys. You're one of those guys. You don't even have like a cool HEV suit or anything. And then there's like the blue shift guys everywhere, and then there's also like aliens everywhere, and the like the bad guys from Blue Shift, the army or whoever it is that's like killing everybody, right?
The Marines.
The Marines.
Marines, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like imagine being inside the Black Mesa facility and like you were trapped there and you had to survive like the stuff you would have to do to survive. So like for instance, I'm surviving mostly on like finding vending machines and then like getting as much food out of them as I can. I'm like going into the bathrooms and like drinking water out of the
Out
sinks.
of the toilet? Oh,
No,
the
I have to poo in the toilet because but the sinks, like all the sinks and everything fill up. There's like soda machines and like vending machines everywhere that like provide most of your food, but there's also like kitchens so like you can find ingredients and like cook stuff. You can cook the like radioactive alien meat when you kill the aliens
Does
and
the food
and
look
like
tasty? Get to see it?
Oh, not really. Like there's like the first food recipe I learned is for sausages made out of like the main enemy dog like aliens that warp around and like it looks fucked up, man. Like you have to manage radiation so much that like iodine tablets are like a regular consumable. You just have to like keep a supply of iodine on you at all times. I'm building a bed and then like shoving it in like a cubicle and like build like putting furniture around it to like build it up to like protect myself during the night. Anything you build needs to be powered, which means it needs to be plugged in to the wall, or you have to make batteries so that you're self-sustainable, because again, you're inside, like you're in an underground facility, but it's a survival crafting game that does have a day-night cycle. It's just that every night at 9 p.m. they shut off all the lights in the facility. They shut off all the power in the facility every night. I don't know why. Like they're like, and in the game too, they're like, this is fucking stupid. Why do we do this? Like, but they shut off all the power in the facility, and they have security droids that come out at night and like patrol the facility, but they don't have like a friend or foe discriminator. They just kill anything. Like they'll kill anybody that they run in, that they encounter. So it's like every night, like at 7:30 p.m. or at 8:30 p.m. or 8 p.m. 8:30 because lights out are at 9 p.m. There's like an announcement that's like, if you have not evacuated the facility, you should make that your top priority right now. Like get to the tram and get to the residential block because lights out is in 30 minutes. Yeah, and it's fucked up. Like it's so fucked up. And like I'm at a point now where I've been like dodging security bots and like I've been making armor and I've been making weapons and I made like a shield out of a lunch tray and I'm like beating up these like little alien crabs and shit and then like I get to a point where they're like, okay, well we need to get into silo 3 to get some power cells. We're gonna have to hack through the door, and they're like, well the only way to get the security code credentials for the door is to destroy one of the robots. So then I have to fight one of these like fucking murder robots by myself to get its CPU, and then I like get the recipe to build the hacking device, and I need 3 of them. I need fucking 3 of them. Like it's insane.
It checks out. It's a survival game.
Yeah, and it's very like, yeah, like there's just like you'll like find like just people like hiding in closets, and they're like, "Fuck you, I'm not going out there." Like, or like people just be like in security offices, and they'll be like, "I don't know, you're on your own, dude." Like because it starts out pretty much exactly like Half-Life does. Like you're going into the facility, it's your first day of work, and something's going on in the lower levels, and now like the power's out. There's aliens everywhere, and like you're finding people who are like, I got shot by soldiers. There's soldiers like killing everybody, like, and you get into like the silos where they have like they're doing the exact same shit they're doing in Half-Life, where they're opening portals to other worlds, except in Half-Life they're opening one portal to Zen, right? And they're just like going and exploring Zen. In this one they're opening to a whole bunch of them. Like there's a whole bunch of different portals that you can find that go to different worlds, and each of these worlds
Are we
have
talking like Half-Life 1 Zen or like Black Mesa Zen, which is so much better?
Oh, well, I've already been to one, and it wasn't even as like big or involved as Half-Life 1 Zen, but it was that kind of vibe. It wasn't as cool as Black Mesa Zen, you know?
I mean, not many things can be.
What is?
Yeah, I mean, what would be, right? right? Like Gabe Newell would be even more disappointed in.
Black Mesa Zen's the only Zen I even know about. I've ever experienced.
That's fine. The original Zen kind of sucked.
It did.
Yeah. Gabe Newell said he
It
would
did.
regret that his entire life, that he didn't get to do more of the Zen stuff.
Did he say that? Is that a
Yeah,
is
he
that a
said
real
Chris Davis is right. You don't need to play the original
He
Half-Life.
said that. He said that.
I mean,
He said his
did,
biggest
yeah.
regret is that he couldn't put more. He couldn't get more of the Zen stuff into the original Half-Life. But yeah, it's fucking cool.
Are you playing this? Are you playing this with friends or solo
No,
or
I'm playing solo.
It sounds
Ryan.
cool, and I wish we
Could have
had
invited me, Crispy.
I only just started like yesterday.
Well, I have
Sorry,
a
I
feeling.
Invited
didn't know.
me yesterday.
Okay,
Why isn't
eh,
it on Game Pass? or
so when
something?
it's 4 a.m. here and it's 5 a.m. on the East Coast, should I like call you or like send you a message or something?
Yeah, just like a telegram will work.
Crispy's not exactly playing at peak hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I heard this game. Sorry, this is like on topic, off topic, but on topic. Core Keeper just got added to Game Pass. I hear this is like a really fun co-op thing. Maybe it would be a game night thing. I don't know. Got good reviews.
Well, I'm definitely interested. I mean,
yeah, I want to play Abihotic Factor too, but that one actually.
I mean,
sucks.
Abiac Factor
I'm
is
just saying,
really
if
sick.
we're
I think
looking
you
for,
guys would enjoy it. It's making me really want to play Half-Life again. Like to be
you
honest,
should do that.
like between this and like also I started playing Deadlock, right? And I was going back and watching videos about like Deadlock's development, and where like a month or two ago everyone was saying like, oh, this project that they haven't announced yet, like it's a third person action MOBA set in the Half-Life universe. Like everyone thought that Deadlock was like a Half-Life game for a while until they showed it off and realized it wasn't. That game is really cool. And
yeah, go ahead.
no, I no. What were you gonna say? It was originally known as what?
It was the project was originally called Citadel.
Citadel, yeah. There was
that's what Deadlock.
Neon,
that's what became Deadlock.
Citadel, and it was another name
Neon
too.
Prime.
Neon Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
those are
this is actually in the news right now. Rumor, but apparently, I mean, the rumor right now is that Valve is actively developing 2 new Half-Life games.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be, and I'm obviously not going to comment on that because, you know, that's
well,
it's Valve, it's Half-Life, and it's a rumor.
Is that like after this? Because
I think that's not.
This has been like 3 months or something, and people thought that Deadlock was a Half-Life game.
Yeah. This rumor I think is specifically referring to projects that have nothing to do with Deadlock, and it probably has.
Have any of you played that?
I have not. No.
I have
assume
booted
Chris
it
Davis
up just
had.
to send y'all invites to it.
So
I played like 5 or 6 matches of it.
all right, so I was debating on talking about it, but yes, I have played some Deadlock, mainly because Chris Davis was kind enough to get me a key. I was not feeling it.
Dude,
really?
It seems like a super cool game. Like it seems like I don't know. It's like fucking blowing up. It seems like it's gonna be the next big thing. It seems like it's really well made. I love the vibe. I love the characters. I can't play it. Like I can't. I don't know what's going. I don't know. I don't know how to MOBA.
So a couple of my thoughts
It's
on it.
so
is, yes,
complicated.
Similarly, I think I was definitely extremely overwhelmed when I first booted it up. Their tutorial's kind of weird. It's like an active like slideshow almost. Like you're not really playing. I don't know. It's weird. Then they're like, hey, pick a character. We think here's some good ones you might like for an early player. And then you kind of do a brief like offline tutorial, and they're like, all right, you're ready, and they throw you in. And then they're like, hey, you remember that character you liked in the tutorial? Someone else chose him, so you can't play as them. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll play this character. I don't really know how their moves work. And also their skill tree is like 40 things, and there's all these like actives. It is busy as fuck. And you get thrown in, and they're like, hey, you're in this lane now, go for it. And I'm like, oh, what? Oh, cool. My first game, and I'm the only person in this lane. Great. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting.
What's the lane thing?
It's what. Well, like, okay, so in MOBAs, your maps have lanes that like the whole point of the MOBA is that each
You
side.
can't explain MOBAs to me.
I didn't know that. I thought this was specific to Deadlock. I didn't think it was a MOBA.
No,
thing.
it's a MOBA thing.
It's
MOBA
MOBA.
Like this game. I mean, this game is the big like revolution or innovation of it is that it is a full MOBA, but it's also like a full third person like action shooter, like hero shooter. Like
Monday
it's
Night
not
Combat.
it's not just like yeah, Monday Night Combat's the one like everyone talks about.
Yeah.
It's like that, but like way crazier and you know, like Smite was like a MOBA that was kind of third person action, but not really. It was just a MOBA that they put the camera behind you. This is like there's a huge amount of like verticality to the map. Like a lot of your moves are about like you jumping into the air or popping up enemies into the air. You're in like this fictional alternate reality version of New York City. You're like running around on top of buildings if you want. Like it's like yeah, like just wrapping my head around like the skill expression of like the shooter aspect of the game was already like a lot. And then I don't know how to play MOBAs. Like
Yeah.
but it's good enough that like I think I kind of like I kind of want to dig into it. Like it's kind of fucking wild, but
I think we need to get
I don't
Ed
know
in
what
here
I'm
to
like.
really talk about it.
yeah,
This is an Ed
I
jam.
thought you were gonna play it, Mr. Valve. What
it's
the
super sweaty though.
Did you say
yeah, so-
sweaty?
Sweaty,
Sweaty.
It's
Yeah,
very
like
sweaty.
everyone in the game is sweats.
Bunch of
They're
sweat.
going way too hard. But anyway, so like I said, my first time playing, I didn't realize, I tend to, when I play online games, because I'm an old man and a nerd, I turn on my mic and I talk to people. But like
Wow.
no one's fucking talking to me, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, hey guys, it's it's my first game, whatever. And then just like one person's like, cool. And then like no one says anything. And then I'm trying to like I said, by myself in this lane, first time playing this game, very overwhelmed by the abilities, the how you interact with things. I did the tutorial, so I understand that you have your 1, 2, 3, 4 abilities, and you can earn skill points and put those points into the abilities to make them better. But I don't even like realize what's going on. I didn't even realize I earned skill points. You can go to the shop and buy more, and you go to the shop and there's like 4 pages in the shop.
Oh, dude,
and each page has like
Why?
6 sections, when each section has like 15 different things in it. Like the shop, and it's just like it's just overwhelming. Not saying it's not, like Chris
And it's like
says,
by
he
the end of the
thinks he
match,
might enjoy it.
well, I mean, by the end of the match, you're like you'll have bought like 16 different things. You'll have upgraded 4 abilities like 5 times. Like it's fucked. Like it's fucked how complicated it is. It is super daunting, and it's like I'm more like I do really want to get into it, and I do really want to try it just because it like is fun. It looks cool. Like the characters are so cool.
I do like the aesthetics of the game. I do like the characters. I do like the world that you're in. There's a lot that I
We're
do
talking about
like
Concord,
about it.
right?
Yeah, Concord. Yeah.
No.
But-
But yeah, I was extremely overwhelmed. The match had been going on for like, I don't know how
they're
long,
like 30, 40 minutes.
like
yeah.
30 minutes at least. And I felt like I was
Damn.
making no progress except for
I
dying
mean,
a
it's
lot.
like Dota, right? I mean, it's
Oh
not
yeah,
that long.
and it's like every time you die, your respawn gets higher. So if you're
Yep.
dying a bunch, you're eventually
Yep.
like on a, like a minute plus respawn
Mhm.
timer. Like it's rough.
So at that point, I think I did 2 matches. Then I was like, I'm gonna step away from this until like someone else plays it with me even.
I think
Yeah,
it would
this
be cool to
sounds like
play
it's
as a
probably
group.
not something for me.
no.
But then again, I'm
how do you
never-
Yeah,
download
if
it?
you went from your like I hate live service games attitude directly into this and like got into it, I would think you were a fucking psychopath. Like
I would think you're an alien. with, like, a
understand you.
changeling or something.
Yeah, like
Like who
Like,
replaced Nick
I know.
Henderson? What was going on? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
This
Chris
is the
Davis
most
like offered me the
not
code
Nick.
too, and I was like, I don't know much about this game, but I see it feels kind of strange that you're offering me this code.
The
'Cause
only
I don't
reason-
think.
the only way this could be more not Nick is if it was Japanese. Like it's
Fuck
Yeah,
off.
that's true. That's true. You could see it.
Yo, once I get these 10 points for Brad's little not racist
Hmm.
card
we
or
can't
whatever,
call you racist anymore.
you can't make the
You could be
Japanese
racist towards other people.
All right, we'll finish your list first, and then we'll not make jokes anymore.
That's true. I need to make
About
sure I
this
focus
particular
on.
thing and not others.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
But
point.
anyway,
That's a good
kind of
point.
going back to like my experience, I think one of the frustrations I had was I did the tutorial and I tried 2 different characters with like guns. And then I go into the game and it's like, hey, choose your 4 people that you want. And so I
You have
choose
to
the
pick-
first 2 that or 3, however many it was. And so I choose them. I get one of the ones I had never played before, and the problem was it was like a bow user, and going from like using like
Oh, yeah.
automatic rifles and guns to a bow, it like threw me off. I was like, dude, I don't know how to play as this character. And don't get me wrong, I've played plenty of games where I've used like a bow type weapon, like fucking the sniper and TF. One of the updates, he had a bow. That's fine, whatever. I can do it. It's just my first time playing a game like this. It's just like very much throws you off.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I've not written it off, but it was a daunting and
I
overwhelming.
mean, I think
experience.
regardless of what any of us think about this game is gonna like
Oh,
blow
I'm
up.
sure it will.
be the next big thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Which is what they're
Just
going
like
for.
Artifact was, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Can you get a game right,
This
Valve? What
is-
the fuck?
This is gonna be the next Concord, you guys. This is gonna be the next. What's fuck? I was gonna
Battleborn.
no battle.
Redfall?
I mean, it is the next
I mean,
Battleborn.
it
I was
is,
gonna
yeah.
say. No, going back farther. What's the game that Joseph reviewed back in the day by just like
Oh my God!
Brink?
Blue cover.
Brink? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
bought
Hasn't
that
come,
game.
hasn't come up in a while.
I bought that game day one. I thought it was gonna be so cool.
Fucking Joseph's review of Brink is still.
I mean,
I
he-
hate it.
I mean, that was just a conspiracy just to sell copies of a game that was destined to fail.
It wasn't like a real game. Yeah.
Yeah, like Deadlocked, like it's only in like a super early playtest and balancing phase right now. Like it's probably going to be at least another year, maybe even 2 years before it actually enters like any sort of proper early access or anything close to release build. Like everything
lot
that
of
they
these
have right
things-
now is super placeholder.
A lot of this might be tightened up by the time
Is it?
it gets
I
to
mean,
that
the
point.
game looks good.
Yeah,
What's placeholder?
like
Like the character models, like the map. That's all. Like they have one map in the game. So
No,
Yeah.
don't get rid of that. I like that stuff.
Nick,
Like-
Nick thinks, I mean,
like the shit all looks.
this is
pretty,
Chris
like-
Davis's Prince of Persia. Thinks this
Shut
beautiful game looks
up.
like shit.
what?
I
This
mean,
motherfucker
it's wild.
will not let this go. Anyways, before we wrap up,
Bring footage of y'all's games, damn it. I
before
want
we
to see
wrap
these
up,
games. I have no idea what Deadlock looks like.
Brad,
Zero.
would you like to walk us through any Fantasy Critic updates?
Oh,
I don't mean to
I
put you on the
can.
spot.
What's the
I feel like
latest?
we've been
Jeez.
slacking a little bit on the.
Silksong doesn't exist. That's the big one for me, at least.
I don't know when
a lot of
Nolan-
games have been coming out.
I don't
actually.
I don't know when Nolan picked this up. Maybe I just missed it, but Nolan picked up fuck, what was it? It just came out.
Visions of Mana. It came out.
Visions
yeah,
of
well,
Mana.
Reviews
That
dropped
was
today.
a
It's
while-
at a
several
78.
weeks ago. Wish it was a little
Which
better.
is, not amazing for Fantasy Critic, but like it's like it's still a game I'm interested in. So I might rent that actually.
Is my
But it's
audio
also
sound okay
kind
to
of where a
y'all?
lot of games
fine.
end up in Fantasy Critic.
Okay, people in chat are saying, or someone in chat said I was kind of lagging, but that's just me. Never mind. Disregard. Continue.
A lot of games have been coming out. It's been a pretty busy summer for game releases on our side, I suppose. I don't know.
Probably
when
just
the
need to
last
do
time we
another Fantasy Critic episode like in September or something to kind of
maybe we could.
Probably.
But like as far as any like big things that have happened, like Neva got a
Give
date
you up?
today.
October 18th.
I picked up that. Oh, Marvel. Oh, so there was a couple of games that got bid on. Marvel Rivals and
Ed stole
And,
that from me.
okay, I don't know how that works. Monument Valley 3. Chris Davis, I was surprised, picked up Monument Valley 3. I thought that was going to be Nick when I saw that pop up.
I don't even
weird.
know what Monument Valley 3 is.
Oh,
It's the sequel to
okay,
Monument Valley
that's
2 and 1.
embarrassing.
I don't even know what Monument Valley is.
It's a very
bro.
so it's like a very prestige like mobile indie game. It was like maybe one of the first mobile indie games I remember it as like being like prestige.
And you thought of me?
Well, I mean, we watched the it came up when we were watching I think we were in Discord, but we were watching the opening night live and it was there.
Mm.
It was there.
Nick,
I
you
must
sit
have-
down and you watch that trailer, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, why'd I miss out on this?"
The first one is very well
All right.
received. It's kind of like Echo Chrome esque a little bit. Like it's a puzzle game that fucks with like perspective, but it's a very like well reviewed. Like the first one is like a 90 or whatever, and it's like, but it's been like 10 plus years probably since that first game. And the second game came
Gotcha.
out with less fanfare. I think the dangerous part of this one, Chris Davis, is that it comes out like about mid-December and it might not get the reviews that time of the year.
That's true.
Even as like a semi-prestige mobile franchise, I guess at this point over all these years, you know, like it's we'll see. Like World of Goo 2 is still sitting at like 12 reviews. It's just like it's hard to get
I'm looking at
reviews these days.
Yeah, this is
Tactical Breach Wizards is still sitting at like 10 reviews. It's like, man, I don't know if it's the season or whatever, or bigger games are starting to come out, but like getting reviews for some of these games is tough.
Well, I think it's just one of those things. Like I said the other week, several weeks ago, there's just so much shit, and when there's more games, there's less time to review games, and so every game is going to get less reviews. Yes, the big AAA blockbusters are still going to get like over 100 reviews, but then smaller games, there's just less time for people to play them, so they're going to be reviewed less, which means their averages will probably be more like. It's either going to be people who like really like the game, so they give it a good review, people who really don't like it and almost played it because they wanted to shit on it, or people who are just like, I needed something to play, I played it, it's okay.
But also like
Star Wars Outlaws was another big one that got review embargo today because that was also counterpicked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reviewed
sitting at a
softer than I was
77.
expecting.
Yeah, same
honestly. 77 again. Fine score outside of Fantasy Creator for Fantasy
pretty in line
but
with
good. It's a good win
pretty in
for
line with
Crispy
Massive.
as the counterpicker.
Pretty in line with like what Massive has been averaging, I would say. I'm still really like the things like what I'm reading about Star Wars Outlaws. The things that I'm really excited about seem to be what it's doing well, like what's being praised for, and the things that it's being dinged are typically for things that I don't really care much about. So I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but I'm super excited to play that. I'll probably be talking about that next week.
I will say, Crispy having counterpicked this and Metroid Prime, which he got a 0 for, -7 points between two counterpicks is actually quite good. So that one kind of worked out, honestly.
Nice.
Angie's got Mario and Luigi and Dragon Age coming. Crispy ain't out of this shit. I'll say that much.
Yep.
Odyssey could have killed. I mean, Star Wars could have killed him, but it didn't. Yeah. Damn.
We'll see.
Well, okay. Well, that's
Ed.
what
I don't know. Y'all think Marvel Rivals is gonna like review well? I was surprised to see 3 people bid on Marvel Rivals. Honestly,
I don't think.
I've been hearing good things.
Then again, options are kind of
Coming from
Slang.
the like Overwatch space, people seem
happy.
Yeah.
People seem happy.
Okay.
That's it for Fantasy Critic. A lot of games coming out. Check the site. A lot of scores. I went from like nothing to doing really well just because my games started coming out, which is nice. But obviously, I have a couple big ones on there that might not ever exist. So we'll see. I still got my free drop, delay drops. We'll see.
Yep, we just gotta hope the Hollow Knight gets delayed.
I need Silksong. Yeah, I hope they say something about it. But I honestly think if we hear about it at all, I think it'll be coming out this year. I think it's possible. It's always a meme until it's announced. You know, I was kind of arguing in Discord because people are so smart assy about it. Like, oh my God, this motherfucker thought Silksong is a thing that was going to come out. I know it's like a big meme, but like no one's actually worried about this game.
No.
You know, people
it's gonna
played
come out.
this
It's
game,
gonna change lives.
you know?
So
They've shown extensive trailers. Hollow Knight is a incredible game. Team Cherry is now a revered studio. I know it's a big joke that has taken a long time, but like when I picked this in January, it was not a bad pick. But people think that because with hindsight, sitting in September now, oh my god, you have Silk Song, you're so fucked. But like they're acting like they're the fucking smart ones or some shit. But
It's
they just
especially
have
Brett,
2020 hindsight. It's so
any
stupid.
of us here would have picked Hollow Knight. It's just you've
Of
got it
course,
before
of
we
course.
could.
At the
It's
beginning of the year,
also-
no one thought it would be.
It's
Still
also
not out.
like you gotta remember that we're talking about like the beginning or at the end. What is it? At the end of 2022, they said everything Xbox during their big showcase.
Yeah,
Or
there's
actually, this
been a
was
lot
mid
of stuff.
2022. Everything coming out you see on stage today will be out and playable within the next year. So that would have put it out mid 2023, and here we are, almost the end of 2024, and it's still nowhere to be found. So
The
like,
thing is,
come on.
you're right, but I think that was maybe debunked a little bit by Team Cherry themselves. But
Sure.
but I will say, I still don't think like even with hindsight, like I still think it was like absolutely the thing I would have picked anyways, because the potential's there, right? It's you gotta the people who do well in Fantasy Critic are the people who find the 90 pluses, and it's not easy to find them. Damn
yeah.
it.
And some games just you never find out about until well after they've launched.
Yep.
That fucking Tsukihime remake is one of the highest rated games of the year.
But it was Japanese release first, so we couldn't bid on.
Oh,
yeah,
but it's like a 96 or 97 right now.
It dropped, but it's also Japanese release for previous year. So
let's wrap it up with the 4-player minute. Can
4-player minute.
Can we do it in record time? Brad, go.
Well,
I only
mine's
said
not
it because
long.
like,
It's
last
about a
week you went on for
singular
like
topic.
10 minutes.
What?
Your final thought last week was like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, but it was a dope one.
It was pretty sick, I
yeah.
guess. Sure.
I don't remember what it was. This week I just wanted to talk about my current problem with gaming. I am weirdly so I downloaded the Castlevania collection after the Nintendo Direct, and I installed it, and I was turning on my Switch to go play it because I wanted to try out the Haunted Castle remake, and I was like, oh, well, I have my Unicorn Overlord game in progress that's been out since February. Still playing it, over 100 hours into this thing, and no end in sight. I am weirdly obsessed with this game, and it is a problem.
Unicorn Overlord?
Unicorn Overlord is a game that you could probably beat in, I don't know, Chris Davis length of time, probably. But I don't know how long he spent on it. But
I don't remember either.
I am over 100 hours in a single playthrough, and honestly, no end in sight for me. I am obsessed with tinkering in this game. I constantly will go and pull up my armory menu and just start like fucking crafting, rearranging equipment, creating new teams, trying them out, and I can't fucking stop. And it's becoming a problem because my armory is getting larger and larger and larger. And the other day I'm like, oh, what if I just like removed everything and started to make all new teams and see how those work out? I'll just go in there and I'll just start tinkering and tinkering and tinkering because the itemization is good, this class system is so good, the combat system is so good, and I can't stop. And it's a problem. And I never even booted up that Castlevania game because it was just like a thing about, oh, let me just save. And I was like, wait a minute. What if I just play a little bit? And I couldn't stop. It's been a problem. I've been playing this consistently since February, and it's gross. Like I went from obsessed with Balatro to going, let's see what this Unicorn Overlord game's all about. I mean, I knew I was going to like it, and I can't stop. It's crazy.
Can't stop, won't stop.
It's a problem. All I want to say is, I played a lot of games this year. Maybe this one's my favorite, honestly. And I can't stop playing it. I want to stop playing it because I want to play new games on my Switch. But I can't stop. That's all. Just want you to know. Just because I don't talk about it every week here doesn't mean I'm not all constantly thinking about it and talking about it. I mean, I'm playing it. Is
this stress that you're experiencing? Are you caught in the Coliseum grind? Is that hurting you?
No. It's literally, I'm just like, I'm doing like mock battles and stuff. I'm perfecting teams and just tinkering, just coming up with new ideas. The game is so deep for that stuff. It's so insanely deep, and I did not expect that from a Vanillaware game. It's crazy. The game is great for someone with a bad brain like mine.
It is a top tenner.
There we go. All right, Chris Davis, why don't you go next?
I guess my main hype this week is that, amongst many other news stories that happened this week, over the course of right as Gamescom was happening, Konami did a press event to go play the virtuous mission of Metal Gear Solid Delta.
That's
so
right.
they got
I saw that.
Yeah, they could play through the whole 90 minutes of that just to experience it. And press preview impressions came out yesterday, and they have been extremely positive. And they are saying,
still no date for the Metal Gear Solid Delta.
No.
Oh. Well, extremely positive. Maybe I heard something different.
Well, they're talking about how like
not negative, more just that like it's the same game but super pretty.
Well, it's more than that. Like the controls have basically been remade in the fashion of Metal Gear Solid 5.
That's
the menuing that was the biggest issue with Metal Gear Solid 3 is now a thing of the past, because your camo index, you can switch out camos on the fly by just pressing on the D-pad. Same with the codec. They didn't demonstrate the medic stuff, but that's because it doesn't happen canonically until you get to the Snake Eater mission portion of the game. They talk about they talk about the food, how you capture animals. They box themselves up and into things you can eat later and cook.
Yeah, but I mean, like, can you just grab a snake and hit R2 to chomp down? That'd be cool.
It's from
heard Metal Gear Solid 5. That's not what I heard. I heard more like Metal Gear Solid 4 in terms of like controls.
Well, I mean, the impressions
I mean,
I'm getting from
I heard that it's cool, but not quite like the dream remake that we all wanted in our heads.
Well, I think the big thing that sticks out to a lot of people is what I've been reading was the fact that it's still like sectioned off the same way as the original game. Like you're still loading from one area to the next, and I think a lot of people were kind of hoping it would be more seamless, which
because it would
be nice,
but that's a lot of work. That's so much work.
Yeah,
that's more just art. That's much more than just art and controls. Which
suddenly have to figure out how all those areas actually fit together, which is not. I would imagine is probably quite the endeavor. So,
well, specifically the other thing about Metal Gear Solid 5 controls was that now the triangle button is a dedicated like dive button, just like an MGS5. So.
Nice.
Is the encounter design like completely different though? Because Wazoo mentioned something funny in chat. He says, "I feel like if I played exactly like Metal Gear Solid 5, it'd break the game like Twin Snakes." Not only is that like an understatement, but like Subsistence broke the game by just letting you have the camera behind Snake in that version of Metal Gear Solid 3. Like if the encounter design is like the same in terms of like the amount of enemies and like what they do, and you're controlling like a Metal Gear Solid 5 Snake, it's not even going to be close. It's going to be insane. I don't know how they balance around that at all.
I would imagine there's going to be some balancing change. I mean, we are talking about like a full-blown remake as opposed to a
But that's the thing. Like I hear a lot of it is not. It is not that as different as you think, and maybe we read different fucking articles, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
You link me what you read.
At the end of the day, we don't have a release date for this yet, right? This is still.
No, I don't think. I think this is probably going to get delayed or whatever till next year. Honestly,
I mean,
this feels too big to come out this year.
I feel like if we're going to get a release date soon, it's going to happen at TGS. And if it's this year, it's maybe December at the earliest.
Yeah. I tend to agree with that. But
I'm fine with.
I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see there's actually stuff out there about it now, and that we kind of have answers to a lot of our questions.
Yeah. The first thing I watched was Dan Reichert, who is a notoriously huge Metal Gear fan, did his own write up and impressions and everything, and he was extremely positive about it. And he is fucking critical of that franchise too. So
what? Good. You just said, but he wait. Dan Reichert is like a diehard like fanboy. What do you mean he's critical of it?
Oh yeah, no, he shit all over like Twin Snakes, for example. Like
Like
he's
He's,
got a history.
in other words,
lot
he's a
of
huge
Metal Gear
fan, but
Solid.
he's not afraid to be harsh against
Yeah.
it because of that.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I wish they remade Metal Gear Solid 1 like in a super good modern version. Damn it!
Yeah.
Why couldn't they do that one first?
Because
When are they going to remake 2?
I mean,
if
whatever,
you're gonna remake one,
remake 2 as well.
you have to completely reimagine one, because that map is just so fucking small.
I feel like we're getting
Okay,
into
so
the
is Metal Gear
weeds.
Solid 3 in today's standards. Honestly, I mean,
We're getting dangerously close to the remake, remaster, reimagining, all that. Like, I hate that conversation. It's so.
it only bothers you.
And
Nick.
it's not about that, Nick. I think it's more. But to that being said, they basically already remade Metal Gear Solid 1 in 4, where you go back to Shadow Moses and you can basically explore almost the entirety of the map.
But you don't get the story moments.
Well, no, correct. Yes, you don't get the story, but I'm saying like, hey, the assets are technically already there. But to their point, like, I would see. I don't see it being very feasible for them to release a full remake of Metal Gear Solid 1. I just don't feel like, to Brad's point, there'd be enough content. Yes, when it came out in 97, when was the first one come out?
I think it was 98. Or no.
98, whatever. Whenever the first one came out, it was groundbreaking for its time. That game is not going to be groundbreaking today, no matter how pretty it looks. And so I feel like they would be hard pressed to release that standalone, just looking and playing a little nicer.
I mean, it's definitely like a harder project to pull off, but it's still fucking Metal Gear Solid, man.
No, for sure.
That's still my favorite one.
I mean, think of it this way.
No, definitely.
Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Probably about the same. As far as like the jump in scope, it would have to be something like that, which would be great.
So, all they need to do is the dream sequence in Metal Gear Solid 3 is just Metal Gear Solid 1.
Boom. Done.
There you go. Problem
that
solved.
would be something.
Problem solved. Hey, Nolan, you want to go next?
Yeah. So to Brad's point earlier about, his relationship with gaming and tinkering with things, I've been doing a lot of IRL tinkering, like I had mentioned earlier in the podcast, trying to just do small things around my house that I've been putting off for a year. We still don't have blinds in our house. We only have paper blinds.
Oh, okay.
And I just haven't gotten around to actually buying.
I was like, you live in a fishbowl still?
Yeah, no. And just lots of little things. I've not done a whole lot with, like, my basement. It's kind of super unorganized still, and I know it's one of those things where if I don't do it now, I'm definitely not going to do it later when I'm trying to run around after a kid. But a lot of that's not all my fault. The fact that I do have a basement, all the houses up here have basements. Just not to digress too much. The one of the incentives when we started building this house, because I think the builders were having a bit of a lull in sales, was, hey, if you buy a house now and you use our lender or something like that, I can't remember. There was an incentive where they would finish a section of the basement. Generally, most houses up here, when you build them, the basements are just unfinished. It's concrete with padding on the whatever. And so they finished a section of the basement, drywall, paint, carpet, whatever. And I was going to use that as my media room. Well, when we moved in, like, the ground had some issues. It's kind of bumpy, whatever. And they're like, hey, we'll take care of it. Don't worry. And I was like, cool. I'm not going to set up my media room in here and then have to take it all back out when y'all come to fix it. Here we are a year later. It's still not fixed.
Ooh.
Somebody was actually out today, though, to add some flashing to try to help level it. And it went from, like, on a scale to 1 of 100, 100 being the most bumpy, floor, horrible. It was probably, we'll say it was a 70. They brought it from a 70 to like a 60. Like, they mildly, just the smallest amount improved on it.
I'm sorry.
Still not where I want it, but it's just like, and it sucks. That's one of those things where, could I live with it? Sure. It's just kind of a little frustrating.
Next time they're out there, get them to put a little step in front of your kitchen sink. You can step up a little.
But yeah, and so, like I said, just lots of little things that I'm still having to do around the house.
it's tough to do all this stuff, and then now I do have a ticking clock on it. Especially now that I also have to do the nursery and stuff. So I've been choosing my games very choicily in the decisions I've been making on what to play.
Right.
Because
You read that
I am
chapter
often...
on nesting, Nolan?
No, I've not.
No.
Which one is that one? And the
Well,
what's
you know,
expected
just
when you're
getting
expecting?
the nursery ready and
Sorry.
stuff because man, Malia was so mad at me when I was like, well, we got plenty of time. We could just do the nursery later. She's
Oh.
like, no, it's nesting. It's important that I do this now. Yeah.
Well, I've been trying to go with Bernadette's flow. So when she wants certain things, I'll just kind of go with whatever she's feeling. She's just now, I think, starting to get into that kind of nesting phase and mentality, which is good because I'm kind of at that point where I'm ready to start working on it. So yeah, I think we've been doing okay. But like I said, we'll just go with the flow. And like I said, she's obviously been doing all the work. So I've been doing whatever she needs me to do. And I'm sure it will stay that way for the next, at least several months, and then a couple months into the baby being here.
Right.
But anyway, that's it.
Cool. All right, Crispy, who just got very bright all of a sudden.
Well, I have a few words and numbers for y'all.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
Oh no! Did the review embargo lift? Oh no!
Wait, did the review embargo? No, it didn't lift.
No.
Okay. I was like, I'm on OpenCritic right now. There's no way.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm scared. I'm scared about
the launch date. The launch date is the 9th. So
yeah.
It's coming. It's a coming.
That's actually my biggest problem right now.
It launches on a Monday?
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's weird.
Well, that's what this thing says.
That is accurate. The 9th is accurate.
That's weird.
Maybe that's like worldwide, but it's launching on like a Friday actually.
Maybe. Who knows?
Look it up,
but
I'm scared.
I think it's time. I think the people are ready. I think that
if this shit scores like an 85, I can't survive that. It's gonna kill my run.
Dude, I think it's gonna be at least an 85. Look at it.
Okay.
Look at it.
Floor, Crispy.
Oh, man.
85. 85.
No, I think 85 is possible. I don't think 85 is the floor on this one.
I think 85 is likely.
I hope you're right. I honestly
likely.
hope you're right.
Game. Saber.
I think
the first.
I think the stars are right. The people are ready.
Like a 74.
I'm gonna place my bets. If I had to like
87.
I'm not saying 87. I love it. 87.
If I had to put my money on a number that it was gonna settle at, I'd say 82.
I hope it's
you're
lower.
crazy. You're crazy. 82.
But I hope you're right, Crispy.
I think, I'm where Nick's at. I think it's going to be like 82, 83.
You guys are coping?
82
seething right now?
83 at least? Texas?
85 at least.
Yo, that's not the ceiling. Baby. Come on, that's like the mid.
This is like going to be the next Last of Us, man. It could be. We don't know.
Oh, okay, you just lost us.
We don't know.
When I counterpicked to me, what would be a 75 to a 79. Now
you counterpicked
it's
the past.
And then I was like, oh shit, maybe this is like a 75 to an 85. A big range there, but like people seem really excited. Now I'm worried that the floor is more like an 80. Which is bad.
Somebody is hotboxing us with a copium grenade, and I can't tell who's huffing it.
It's Saber. Copium.
It's bad.
What do you mean?
Someone here is coping. Well,
it's
someone here is delirious about Space Marine 2, and I can't quite tell who it is.
So there is a lot of hype here. There's a lot of hype here.
I guess we'll
reviews have been
huh?
pretty positive, but
I'm liking the attitude.
It's still a Warhammer game. Like Warhammer games, Saber games, they don't do crazy numbers. That's why
when the two come together, they make magic.
Oh, Saber meets Warhammer. That's what the magic sauce was.
You know what?
It's a secret
They've never
combination.
shipped like a 80 plus in their life. I don't think.
there was a time where the biggest movies in the world weren't superhero movies too. You know what I'm
Stop
saying?
it. Stop
You
it.
know, you go back
They've not
20
been
years, no one gave a
blazing.
shit
Some have been
about
blazing, but they're paid
Iron
shills,
Man.
man. Some of them
Paid
were.
shills? Come on.
Some of them were.
If there are shills, they're unpaid. I mean, there's no such thing as a paid shill anymore. You don't have to
war
pay
shit.
shills. You don't have to
This
pay
is culture war shit, dude. It's
People
about
just shill.
well, there ain't no women in any of this armor. You know, that's what's going on here.
Oh, there's gonna be like a lady custodes, and then it's gonna be huge controversy, and that's gonna.
Look,
Isn't one of
man,
the
Space
most
Marines is
important
all about
characters in
Nazis
movies?
and men, not women. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous that someday somebody is just
It's
not
like,
gonna
it's
get
not
the
gonna
joke.
hit 90. If Space Marine settles at 90 plus, I will officially resign from Fantasy Critic this year.
Oh, pin that.
I don't even
Someone
care
pin
if
that.
Silk Song
Clip
comes
it.
out.
Clip
Someone
that
pin
out.
Clip.
Clip it.
Clip it.
This is another like homie bet or whatever, like we
Clip
did with
it.
Dragon Age.
We put him in the fucking.
Oh wait, we should. You
ground.
know what we should do? We should do like a trade or something, like we did with Dragon Age. Like if Dragon Age scores below a 75, I have to trade. I have to take it back,
No.
right?
No. Yeah.
We should come with something like that.
If Space Marine 2 scores over a 90,
Saber Interactive.
if it scores over a 90, Crispy has to give it to Brad. Has to
That doesn't
trade
make
it.
sense.
I don't know.
Oh, it would. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I'm just.
If it scores 90 plus, he has to give it to me. It cancels out my counter pick.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about the fact you can't take something you've counterpicked. Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
If Space Marine comes out and settles at a 90 plus, you can have Silk Song if it releases.
Damn.
What? No.
You would get 290 pluses.
We'll talk about it. We gotta think about that. We'll talk about it. We'll talk
All
There's no fucking way. You are smoking.
Okay. Okay.
So what?
What's your point? Okay. Let me get mine out here so we can finish this podcast off. I just wanted to say, so yeah, Star Wars Outlaws reviews came out this week, and it's settling around a 77, which is a little disappointing. Fantasy critic wise, a little disappointing for me. Kind of in line with what Massive Entertainment, it's Massive Entertainment, right? That's the name of their studio. Massive. It's kind of in line with like what they've. That's kind of what they've been averaging.
I want to check the Metacritic score of World in Conflict, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm talking about recently. Okay. I'm thinking about like the Division 2 and then the Avatar game and now this. The Division 2, I think, probably being the one that scored the highest. But anyways, I just wanted to say, it's a bit of a bummer for my fantasy critic, but I'm also still very excited to play it. And I forgot that this weekend is a 3-day weekend. So I'm going to be going balls to the walls into Star Wars Outlaws. Very excited about that.
When does that come out?
Friday.
Balls to the walls.
I mean, unless you have early access, because if you paid,
I could be playing it right now.
you could be playing it right now. I just on principle don't usually do that. So I'm not really. And not to mention, I have plenty of Black Myth Wukong to play still. Wait,
balls
what?
to the walls requires you have to lift the penis, right? To get your balls on the wall.
I mean, you would think so, yes. I mean that if you're,
Or you just kind of like mash
Not if
everything
you
against
not if
the
you
wall.
bent over and backed up.
there we go.
Bent over, backed up, and then like gave it a little
I don't
force.
think the original colloquialism is referring to testicles, though.
What was it
Well,
referring to?
Crispy might be right.
I mean, I hope it's not referring to testicles because that doesn't make sense.
Anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to say, very excited to play Star Wars Outlaws, and I like to be pretty positive, have like a positive outlook on things, and just gonna say it, man. Days Gone is is one of my favorite games of all time, and it is a 72 on
I like how
OpenCritic.
you've learned to embrace the 72, right? Because It used to be a
Well,
joke, and now you're like, dude, I love 72s.
I mean, look. Days Gone, one of my favorite games of all time now. 72. Atomic Heart last year, 74, one of my favorite games of the year. 77,
Yeah,
dude, 77 on OpenCritic is still considered strong. I think it's going to be a great time. I'm super excited to play it.
maybe it's the numbers that are wrong, Brad.
I've had a game of the
And
year
look-
be sub 70, so come on, man, I've been there.
And look,
Number
whatever.
one game of the year.
It could be. It still very well could be my game of the year. But it's got some steep competition, dude. Astrobot comes out the week after this. Space Marine 2, I don't know if you've heard of it, also comes out the week after this.
90
And
plus.
Plucky Squire also comes out the week
Oh,
after
now
this.
that speaking of actual 90s, that game.
That's not one of them.
If you have not watched this most recent round of preview coverage, holy shit, that game's gonna score well.
Yeah.
Damn,
no
it
one's
looks
over
so
here
good.
smiling ear to ear.
It looks so good.
Anyways, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let's go ahead and wrap this show up. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Next week we'll be back to record another episode. I'll be talking about Star Wars Outlaws. I can tell you that much. Among other things, and of course, in the meantime, you can find us in Discord at discord.gg/4player. You can find all of our episodes on your preferred podcast service or on 4playernetwork.com. And we record these episodes Tuesday nights. Maybe we'll try and get a game night together sometime in September, play some Abiotic Factor or something along those lines together. It could be a lot of fun. But yeah, we record every Tuesday, so we'll see you next week. And in the meantime, y'all be good to each other, play video games, and good night.
Bye.
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 Bye,
Nick, I just
buddy.
sent you the
hope
trailer for
find your
Monument 3.
dad.
For what? Oh, Monument Valley?
Yeah.
Cool. Woo.
Yep.
That was me the
Well
other
said.
day.
Fucking Space Marine, man. When that shit got announced and it was like fucking Saber Interactive, and man,
Oh, I was skeptical as fuck. I'm still skeptical in a number of ways, but
I won Fantasy
Skeptical in
Critic
so
last
many
year.
ways.
Let me count
But that's-
the way.
One of the biggest
So-
reasons I won
so
Fantasy
hard.
Critic last year is because between both my counter picks, I gained points. That's like unheard of for counter picks. I had a 0 and like a -6 because of fucking Exo Primal. Why did Carlos draft Exo Primal? That's such a. Now I'm staring down a -10 and a negative. Who the fuck knows?
he drafted Exo Primal because it's a Capcom game.
It's not good. Not good. I need Silk Song.
Pretty much.
Now I need Silk
a little
Song
bit
and
of a
not
must.
and not Space Marine 2 to be a 90 plus.
Oh, by
I
the
think
way,
it could do quite well. I think if it ends up at like an 84, you should be ecstatic.
chat, just so you know, the Humble Capcom bundle ends tomorrow. There's some good shit on there, man. Ghost Trick, both Ace Attorney collections, Capcom Fighting Collection.
What platform? That's all Steam stuff. Ghost Trick's on Steam.
Yeah.
Huh.
Also,
Interesting.
all
Ghost
of
Trick's just
them
a
are either
game.
playable on deck or deck verified.
How much is the bundle?
$30.
That's like just an actual bundle price.
How much are they paying you? You fucking shill.
I pasted in chat the link to it.
No, it's an affiliate link. Don't click it.
Ah!
Damn, got him, son. All right.
Everything's just about money these days.
Because we live in a
You're
capitalist
not
society,
wrong.
capitalist dystopia.
Only
Oh,
we
there's a
had a
lot of
little
shit on
money.
here. Well, this is Ace Attorney Chronicles as well.
Yeah,
I mean, Great Ace Attorney. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Great
Well,
Ace
both of
Attorney.
them.
That shit's fucking good.
Thanks, Cassius.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
hanging
much,
out.
Cassius. Guys, don't forget, if you're not in our
Good night.
Discord, we'd love to have you.
Ooh, the
Just-
beat 'em up bundles, cool.
Mhm.
So is this is not a tiered one or whatever? You have to pay 30.
No, it's
Oh wait, no, they have smaller bundles. They have smaller
Yeah, they got
ones.
smaller,
Oh, but
but
you
you-
don't get Ghost Trick.
yeah. You got to do the full thing for Ghost Trick.
Ghost Trick and Great Ace, I think those are like the most valuable ones on here, probably.
And then they're
The
also
3
doing
item
it.
bundle.
They're doing another bundle for Resident Evil.
Ooh. I love you guys, but I'm going to go try and squeeze in a boss in Wukong before bed. So...
Yeah, slide
Well,
in like a
I
gentleman.
mean, good news is it's only going to take you 2 or 3 tries.
No,
Mr.
the one,
Badass.
literally the one I'm stuck on now, I've been trying for a while. I've been grinding, so I'm going to see if that grinding has paid
He's
off.
been grinding on that pole.
I've been yeah, actually, I have been grinding on the pole stance.
Grinding men's bones to make his bread. Okay, I'm leaving too. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
Okay. Night, chat.